Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Friday, October 20th, 2023, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $ ORION NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Philadelphia Phillies versus the Arizona Diamondbacks. NLCS game number 4. Phillies up 2-1 in the series. Diamondbacks are trying to win tonight to tie, and we will get first pitch here in just a couple minutes. And we got a pretty interesting matchup with the Rangers and the Astros, with the benches clearing in the 8th inning, and I'm watching that one as well pretty closely. Looks like the Rangers might get the best of the Astros, but we still got a little bit more time left. So let me actually go back to that because I want to catch the end of that. But I hope everyone is having a fantastic Friday. Lots of sports going on right now with baseball. Obviously, you got a lot of the preseason NBA, and I am ready, man. I am ready for this matchup. And then tomorrow, we are going to do the Ducks and the Washington State Cougs, the Cougas, and we'll end up doing that matchup. I believe it's around 12:30. And then, we'll see what we dabble into if I end up doing the Bucks and the Falcons and the Dolphins and the Eagles, or if we decide just to do one and I do reaction videos pretty much for the time period. Let's get into the thumb as well as the starting lineup. Sarah in the building. What's good? Odin's son with a 20 before the stream started. Always good when you have people like him step up and get us off to a good note even before the stream even started. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang, $20 holla. Let's go. 80 to go, and that's always a good sign to get it started early. Odin's son, you're the man. I appreciate you. Let's go. Oh, Will the Thrill in the building. Wow, it's been a minute. How are you? What's good? So we got Rangers 4, Astros 2. Benches clear. They had their pitcher get ejected for throwing at Adolis Garcia after, there some words were exchanged, and he took a long time after his home run trot, and they beamed him on purpose, and then Dusty Baker got ejected. And it looks like that and besides any kind of miracle, I would assume the Rangers are going to end up winning this, and they'll go up 3-2. And this is very, very key at this point. But you never know. Here's the Astros just trying to find a way and getting on base. The Astros are very resilient, and it looks like the Diamondbacks are kind of resilient too, because I kind of had a feeling that, they were going to win maybe 1, possibly 2, but the way that the Phillies were playing at home, it kind of felt like, if the Phillies ended up going into Arizona and sweeping them, I don't know if anyone would have really been surprised, or if they end up winning just 1. But in this particular matchup with Mantipla versus Sanchez, this could be another matchup, possibly where the Diamondbacks could tie up the series like the Astros did. I still think we're going to get Rangers and the Phillies, but hopefully the matchup ends up being close, and we don't get like a 10-0 game like we did in Game 2 in Philadelphia. I'm grinding, man. Absolutely. I'm grinding. I've improved the thumbs. I'm just trying to get everything on pace, for what we are doing. So let's get into the starting lineup and the thumbs here as well. We got Bryce Harper on the left, and then we got my boy Corbin Carroll on the right. 2 of my favorite players in Major League Baseball, baby. All right, let's go over the starting lineup. Leading off for the visiting Philadelphia Phillies, DHing tonight, Kyle Schwarber. And, he cannot be denied. This guy hits home runs like it's nothing. Wouldn't be surprised if he hits one today. Batting second, playing shortstop, Trey Turner. Batting third, first baseman, Bryce Harper. Batting fourth, playing third base, Alec Bohm. Batting fifth, playing second base, Bryson Stott. Batting 6 for Philadelphia, catcher J.P. Realmuto. Batting 7th, playing right field, Nick Castellanos. Batting 8th, playing left field, and with the best beard in the major leagues, Brandon Marsh. And batting 9th, playing center field for the Phillies, Johan Rojas. And on the mound for the Phillies, Christopher Sanchez. All right, baby. Let's get into the Diamondbacks. A little change in the lineup. Leading off, second baseman, Ketel Marte. Former Mariner, I see you. Batting second, center fielder, the stud, Corbin Carroll. The version of Julio Rodriguez on the Arizona Diamondbacks. He is the truth. Batting third, catching for the Diamondbacks, Gabriel Moreno. Batting fourth, playing cleanup, first baseman, Christian Walker. Batting fifth, playing right field tonight, Tommy Pham. Batting sixth, playing left field, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Batting seventh, playing DH tonight for Arizona, Evan Longoria. Batting eighth, playing third base, Emmanuel Rivera. And batting ninth, playing shortstop for the Diamondbacks, Geraldo Perdomo. And on the mound for the Diamondbacks, Joe Mantiply. Let's go, baby. Wow, what a big clutch. Jose Altuve, 3-run homer to take the lead in the top of the ninth. 5-4 Astros. Just when you think you can beat them down, they keep punching back. I can't believe that. And we already know there's a lot of cheating going on with the Astros. But golly, talk about more of a clutch hit than I've ever seen. I mean, they were up 4-2. All they had to do is just get out of this inning. And what happens? Altuve, 3-run shot. And that might be the difference now with the either Astros moving on to the World Series, which I believe it will be, and the Rangers lost their chance to go to the World Series, because if the Astros win this, they're going to go up 3-2, and they are going to go against the Philadelphia Phillies. I've seen a lot of clutch hits in my time. That was one of the most clutch hits that I've seen. Top of the ninth, down by 2, 3-run homer, and now you're up by 1. Now Texas can pray that they can actually get 1 run, and actually go into extras. But golly, unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, baby. I can't believe that just happened. I'm watching both games at the same damn time right now, so. Megan with a tenner, All Blacks, New Zealand, rugby, 44-6, 5th World Cup. Nice. Nice. $10 holla. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. First pitch is fouled off by Kyle Schwarber. If you want me to throw up some All Blacks, I'm not familiar with anybody that's on the team. But when I first started the channel, I did do some reaction videos to the New Zealand All Blacks rugby team. So if you have a favorite player on the team, or maybe someone that you own a jersey of, let me know. Or I can just do a team photo of them celebrating. Let me know, and I can throw that up for you, either that or the Kraken. I appreciate you very, very much. Another tour, 5th World Cup. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang, $2 Allah. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, I'll be able to find him. Golly, I just can't believe that. The player that I dislike the most that's playing in Major League Baseball, it's a three-run shot. Unbelievable. And even though I don't like Jose Altuve, I'll give him this. Cheating or not cheating, the guy is arguably one of the best, baseball players in Major League Baseball. And if you compare him compared to like the short quarterbacks, for example, like, with a Russell Wilson, Drew Brees type, he kind of fits the mold. Some of those guys, have had their best days already behind them, like Danger Russ. But when they were in their prime, Breeze and Russ were doing their thing. Same thing with Jose Altuve. The guy will more than likely be a Hall of Fame player. I'm not really big on Jose Altuve, or Alex Rodriguez, the former Mariner, but I understand that they can come up big in clutch moments, and we got one there. Unbelievable. 5-4 Stros in the top of the ninth with 2 outs. And then we have the game here with Trey Turner, obviously, with 1 out, with Schwarber getting out in that first at bat. So give me a moment here, and then I'll end up getting some photos for you. No problem. Pop foul for Trey Turner. I'm still in shock. I can't believe that happened. I mean, the chances of Altuve hitting that homer is like 1%. Like I said, that just doesn't happen. But I guess if you're a clutch player, it does. Nice clutch hit by Trey Turner on the road. I see you, Trey. Okay, baby. Next up, first baseman Bryce Harper. The Boo Birds are out for him, but we already know what it is with him. He's fantastic. Let's go, Bryce. First pitch fouled off. First thing that they got the first 3 batters in common, they're swinging for homers right out of the gates. 1, 2, 3. They're all trying to go for that first pitch, strike to take it to the house. 0-1 pitch from Matt Supply, throw to first. Oh, got him at second. Nice. Wow, hasn't got caught since 2022. Wow, Trey Turner. I'm going through some all blacks. I'm trying to find some cool team photos for you while we're going through here. Harper chops 1 foul, 1-2 count. But here's a couple that I was able to find that I thought were pretty fire. I'll try to do some like individuals. That's very cool, very HD 4K there. And then another one. Let's go. I enjoyed doing rugby reactions and soccer reactions from back in the day, no lie. I mean, I still need to, figure out more of like the rules and, the ins and the outs and the terminology. But I'm always down to kind of dive into something that I'm not too familiar with. I'm not intimidated at all. Haka. Thanks for Sarah and Cyber to help out on the Twitter and the X side as well. Appreciate that. Laws, not rules. See, there you go. There's another thing right there. Harper, little dribbler. Got him. Man apply. Let me see if I can find something cool here for you. And I'll throw up something. Even if Odin's son is not in the room, he ended up, dropping a 20 before the stream started when he came into the room and let me know that he was going to take care of us, tomorrow, which is today. So I appreciate that very, very much. And I found a really cool one of the Barrett brothers as well, separate from this photo. There we go. That's very cool. Keep it in the family, right? Keep it in the fam. Very cool. And they throw up a couple things for Odin's son because even if someone's not here, I want to make sure that we're still showing that appreciation. And I'm going to hit him with a Kelsey. And I know that the Devils are playing right now. So I want to give him a little bit of good luck today. I think they're playing the Islanders. So I want to throw up a photo of that for him. Let's throw up one cheap photo for him for now. Let me hit up a Mahomes. Got to do Mahomes if I'm doing it, go that route. And then we'll go do a Devils. Appreciate you, Odin. Let's go here. Oh, I got to get him a Jack Hughes. Little chopper towards second base. Got him. One away. I got a Jack Hughes up here for Odin as well. Good luck, brother. I haven't checked to see what the score is, but hopefully things are going well. I need to get a Devils logo there as well. So give me a sec here. Chop foul. Corbin Carroll in the box. Pitch is low. 1-2 count. All right, so we got the Devils there. I got to find a logo a little bit bigger. That's a little tiny, but it'll do for now. Here we go. See you, Jack. Corbin Carroll breaks the bat. Routine play to first, 2 away. Need a bigger logo than that one. Next up for the Diamondbacks, Gabriel Moreno takes a pitch on the corner for a strike, 0-1 count. And we got Christopher Sanchez on the mound for the Phillies. Pitches outside, 1-1 count. No problem. No problem. If we had more people, that were a part of that would show up on a regular basis, I think that we would use it again. It's not like I'm opposed to not using it, using it or not using it, but it all depends on who shows up and, if we have the same people that, would post on there and whatnot. So, but we haven't used it in a minute. What a big comeback for the Astros. If Jose Altuve does not hit that 3-run homer, the Rangers go to the World Series and have a chance against the Phillies. But since that happened, I think their chances are done now with momentum and just the way that the Astros play. They ended up getting a pitcher ejected. Dusty Baker got ejected. Emotions were high, and then, they got really, really lucky, from a big, big clutch player making a big clutch hit. And now we're going to get pretty much the World Series. I thought we were going to get the Astros, versus the Phillies. But I thought that if the Rangers went up 2-0, they would have a good shot. And they did. They won the first two, in Houston. But you got to be able to take care of business at home. You can't lose at home. You win the first two on the road, and then you lose 3 in a row. I mean, come on. I mean, you don't deserve to make the World Series if that's how it's going to go. So, but you never know. Maybe the Rangers will fight and make it a 7-game series, and maybe they can still bounce back and make it to the World Series. But that's going to be an emotional, that's going to be very, very emotional. They're not going to forget about that. That's the one that they let slip by. All they needed to do was win that game. They were up by 2 runs in the ninth. All you got to do is not give up a homer, and you gave up a 3-run homer. So congratulations to Houston for being the big dogs. But Texas, when you're that close, you gotta shut the door, put the foot on the gas. Don't let them come back. If you let a team like that hang around, they're going to hang one on you, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah, I do like MMA. I do like UFC, and I do like boxing. I don't follow it as much as I used to when I was younger. Maybe 20 years ago, I was really, really into it. And then, I still was into it about 10 years ago, and I still follow, who's who, who's at the top of their game from each weight class, what's the good fights. Usually if there's a big fight on pay-per-view, I'll have friends that will hit me up and ask if I want to come over to watch with them and whatnot. Yeah, but I don't know if I'm necessarily going to be watching this weekend. Like, I'm not going to necessarily buy it, but I'll probably keep tabs on what's going on, and I'll have friends that'll be messaging me, or I might end up having a link, and I might end up watching it. Well, Mantiply only pitched like what, one inning, and then he went out, and now they got Frias in there. Interesting strategy that you had a pitcher pitch one inning, a starting pitcher, and they're like, okay, that's it, and then we're going to move on. But hell, if it works for the Diamondbacks and they can tie the series up, good for them. Let's make this series more interesting. Alec Bohm in the box. Chopper towards third. Oh, what a play. Got him. Well done. Great play. Emmanuel Rivera with some good defense there. It's on TBS too, if you're wondering, if you want to watch along. You can watch it on TBS through your cable provider or, through tbs.com/watch TBS/east or west. And then you can watch it through your cable provider as well. Good defense there. Next up for the Phillies, second baseman Bryson Stott. I mean, I've seen that strategy done before, or it's like when you have like righties or lefties, but typically it's more than just like an inning. Obviously they're trying to be able to keep their pitching staff fresh enough. They already know that they're down 2-1. They were down 2-0. Obviously lost both games on the road, but surprisingly played really, really well. Even though they don't get the same type of crowd support as Philadelphia, and they ended up getting that game 3 win. Good for them. Because you don't want any of the teams to just go and get swept. That you don't want to be that team that gets that embarrassing, like, oh God, we made it to the Final Four, ALCS, NLCS, but you don't want to lose 4-0 and get swept by the team that ends up going to the World Series. At the very least, you want to win 1, preferably 2. If you're really good, 3. And, obviously, if you can win 3, then you're going to be up to maybe even upsetting a team and maybe stretching it to game 7. But I don't see this series going to 7 games. I think Philadelphia in 6 is what I'm seeing. But if Philadelphia wins this game tonight, then it'll be Philadelphia in 5. Trying to log into the Discord here. My bad. One sec. Hold on. Sarah, can you send me the Discord? Can you send it to me through Twitter? All right, Megan, no problem. That way I can give Will the follow back on the Discord on there if he. Or I might actually still have it in here. It's been a minute. I don't know if I do though. All right, Megan, take it easy. I'll be here. Chop foul, 1-2 count. The JT Real Muto. Still can't believe Altuve fucking hit that. Talk about a missed opportunity. Uh-oh. Back. Oh! What a catch on the wall. You got to be kidding me. Wow. That was amazing defense right there. Unbelievable. Hold on. All right, I got it now linked up here. All right, Will, we got you in there. NWSF family. We got the Northwest Wrestling Fanatics on there as well. All right, perfect. And I see you're talking a little bit with Odin's son there as well. Just I need to get all these tabs going. I got multiple tabs. Yeah, it's all good, Will. You're not the only one. Like I said, I've improved the thumbs. Obviously, as you've seen, the backgrounds. Just grinding it away. Baseball, basketball, football, hockey, wrestling, you name it. We're doing it. And some of the goats from last year aren't as present as much as we had in 2020 too, but it is what it is. Eventually we're going to keep grinding. We broke 20,000, so that's the big thing, and just trying to continue to keep going. Like I said, we're getting closer to the 4 million view mark, and like I said, we'll get that. It'll take a little bit to get to that number, but we're approaching it. So that's a good achievement to get to 4 million. Of course, we know there's famous people that can get like 1 million views on like one fucking video. But when you're grinding from something that was nothing and you're bringing it into something, it takes time, and to hit that 4 million number is pretty big. So and I did reaction videos also to be able to help us out to get us over 20,000. It worked. And, I've been pumping out quite a few of those each week, just depending on the looks. Oh, Safe at First by Christian Walker. Wow. Bohm with an error. A very rare error for Bohm. He's very good at third base. Just throws it a little high there. Next up, right fielder Tommy Pham. And if Tommy Pham and Evan Longoria play well, that'll definitely help their chances. Some loyal more than others. Honesty, loyalty, respect is a big deal. I work really, really hard. It took me 10 years to go full time. And like I said, it's a grind, man. It's not easy. But we're happy to have you back, man. All right, we're in the bottom of the second, 0-0. Runner at first, based off an error from Alec Bohm. 1-1 pitch from Sanchez to Tommy Pham. Pitch is low, 2-1 count. But also, breaking up with the girlfriend and then being able to, move with family to be able to get things situated so I'm not restricted to only recording from like 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Has allowed me to do a lot more and for us to be able to grow properly. So, which is always good. I don't really take days off. I mean, I pretty much work every day. The only day I've taken off recently is, to go to the Ducks game, to go see Colorado, to go see Dion and Shador Sanders there in Autzen from a gift from Mo Gumbo, who bought tickets for me, from Nolans and was able to let me, take a buddy to a game, and we had a great time. But other than that, I mean, we've been pretty much streaming almost every day for months and months and months. So I'm definitely committed. 2-2 pitch to Tommy Pham from Sanchez. Chop foul. Bottom of the second, 3-2 count, best of seven. Philly leads 2-1, and the Diamondbacks are just trying to tie up the series. 3-2 pitch to Pham. Right on the corner. Got him. Nice job, Sanchez. That was a hell of a pitch. Next up for the Diamondbacks, left fielder Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Fouls it off himself. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people, that I feel, they want to have all the success and the fame and the money and the recognition and all that, but most people are not willing to work hard to get it. And sometimes you got to work like a madman. And I even got a buddy Brooks. I feel that he could be discovered. He's a very very good beat maker out here in the Pacific Northwest. Even Busta Rhymes reached out and contacted him, but he's just finally like believing in himself and investing in equipment in himself. I mean, if he would have listened to me like 5-10 years ago, who knows where he would be at this point. But it really does show you how hard that you have to work. And even when you put in 150% every day, still you may have to keep grinding, and wait your turn. Because I already know that we got one of the best channels going over sports and wrestling on planet Earth. I feel I'm one of the best in the world at what I do, but there's so many channels that are out there and so many people that sometimes you just got to wait your turn. And I got no problem doing that. Tell Bandit, woof, woof, bow, wow. 0-2 pitch. I've already gone on 2 long walks with Paisley as well. The weather was pretty nice today, around 70. A little cloudy and foggy in the morning, pretty cold, but we make our way and we make sure that we get that proper exercise about an hour and a half to 2 hours a day. That takes a lot of dedication too. Chopper right towards the pitcher. Little flip. There we go. Could have had a double play there. Got to remember how many outs are in the game. Sanchez, that could have been an easy double play. Caught stealing, error by Bohm. Could have had a double play, and he decided just to go to first. Come on, Phillies. If you keep having these errors, all it's going to take is a couple, clutch hits from Corbin Carroll or Ketel Marte, and they will tie this series up. They're not going to win against the Phillies in 7 games, but I definitely think they could stretch it. Evan Longoria up next. Crazy that Evan Longoria is still playing. We already knew he had his time, but sometimes you get those old school vets that everyone think is washed up, and sometimes they can still produce, a little bit of defense or a little bit of offense. Not the player that he used to be by any means, but just like with Tommy Pham, you never know. Those guys could be those heroes, the unsung heroes in the lineup. Bottom of the second, 0-0, 2 outs, runner at second. Sanchez on the mound, Longoria in the box. 2-1 pitch, wild pitch. Uh-oh, runner advances to third. Okay, Diamondbacks, I see you. And then tomorrow's schedule for college football is going to be really fun. If I knew that we could actually get an audience, I would wake up early, like at 6 or 7 a.m., which I already do anyways, and I would do a live stream for Penn State, Ohio State, or any really bomb matchup, that's at 9 in the morning. But I just don't think that we would get a good enough crowd maybe in the future, once we build up our college football fan base, that I would sacrifice my sleep and I would do a game like that. I'm going to be watching it. So why not, do the game? I don't have a problem with it, but we are going to do Washington State and Oregon at 12:30. We're going to do that matchup. And there's other good matchups too. Tennessee, Alabama tomorrow. Michigan State for a rivalry game, but Michigan's going to mollywop them. Duke, Florida State. Washington, Arizona State in the evening. UCLA, Stanford. But the best matchup, obviously, of the weekend will be Penn State, Ohio State. And then obviously I like that Oregon-Washington State matchup. So we'll do Oregon and Washington State. And then on Sunday, obviously reaction videos, but we're going to end up doing Sunday Night Football. We're kind of, sometimes we'll do Sunday Night Football. And if it's a shitty matchup, I'll skip it and I'll just do reaction videos all day from 1:30 on. But the Dolphins and Eagles, that's one of the best matchups of all 2023. So I'm definitely going to do that. And then you got some pretty good matchups too. Chargers, Chiefs. That's going to be a good one. Cardinals, Seahawks should be a little bit closer than people think. Falcons, Bucks at 10 a.m. So Lions, Ravens at 10 a.m. That will be good too. So but there's a lot on the line for the Bucks and the Falcons. So I'm going to live stream that game. If we win that game, it improves our chances to go to the playoffs 20%. Based off our record and the flow and how we're going. And the Falcons, that's a must-win too, because it looks like the Bucks and the Falcons are going to be battling it out for the NFC South crown. The Saints will still be kind of in the mix, but I do think that if the Falcons play good football, that they should be leapfrogging the Saints at some point as long as Ritter can be consistent. Now, if Ritter is inconsistent, the Saints will get second place by default just because, of the record and who they play, their coach, OC, offensive line is a mess, but still they have so much talent on that roster that they might be able to get second place. Oh, big hit. Big RBI. There we go. 1-0 Diamondbacks. Rivera. All right, Emmanuel. Okay, baby. Big RBI. 1-0 Diamondbacks. Perfect. And that's tough when you're a left-handed pitcher. Once you go through your follow-through, you're not going to be able to reach your glove and get a ball, hit 100-plus miles an hour right back into your lane. So great job there. Next up, Geraldo Perdomo in the 9-hole. It always shows you sometimes those guys in the 8 and the 9 hole, no one expects them to do shit, and they end up being a hero. Big facts. Perdomo pops one up. Got a little greedy there. Now you got everyone in the infield coming in and retires the rest of the side, but they do the damage. 1-0 Diamondbacks. Okay. Nice job, Rivera. It's nice to see the Diamondbacks fight. You already knew the Astros and Rangers could go 7. They could go back and forth. And, with that, Uncle Mo, they were up 4-2, the Rangers, right? At home, right? All you got to do, right, is just get out of that 9th inning, and they weren't able to do that. And then here comes Jose Altuve, 3-run homer, And I feel the series is over now. Like, I feel that the Rangers still could come back and tie it 3-3, but I don't think that they're going to win game 7. I'd be shocked. Because especially that would mean that the Rangers would have to win the last 2 games, and based off this emotional loss, the emotional damage, right? I don't think that they're going to be able to do it now. That was their chance. You went up 2-0, you lost 3 games in a row, and it could end up being the last game, could be the next matchup in game 6. So unfortunate, because the Rangers had to win the first 2 games on the road to even get to the World Series, and they did it. And then they just, they fucked up. They weren't able to, keep that Uncle Mo going. And here comes the Astros. And the Astros legitimately, like I said in the regular season, to me, they were the only team that could probably beat the Braves or whoever ended up representing the National League. And it looks like it probably will be the Phillies. So Astros Phillies could go 7 games. Yeah, but also too, you got to remember, it's always good to stay away if social media is toxic. Like if you're going to places like chat rooms and YouTube channels, Twitch channels, and it's toxic. But you got to think, out of all the channels that are on YouTube, regardless if it's sports or wrestling or just in general, we have one of the most safest locations where you can actually have good mental health here. We don't actually have a lot of toxic people here. So, a lot of people, have decided to, part ways or, do their own thing. But I feel that if you end up neglecting a good, safe place, you're actually doing yourself more harm than good, unless you're going somewhere else that actually is a safe place, because not every YouTube channel or Twitch channel is toxic. We have one of the, most non-toxic channels as far as the chat is concerned on all of YouTube. So for those people that were very heavy hitters and mods and regulars that would show up on a regular basis last year, if you're going through some tough times, what a better place to be able to get things to get better than here. But I think some people don't realize it, or maybe they do and they feel bad that they've been gone for so long, or they feel that they have to donate to be here. And that's not the case. I would, if someone was a heavy hitter and they were donating all the time and then they decided not to come back because they're embarrassed that they can't donate anymore, who cares? Come back, join the crew. We ended up having a very tight knit bunch of about 15 to 20 of us, and, when you cut that group in half that don't show up on a regular basis anymore, it hurts the channel, you know. And like I said, it not only does it hurt on the views and the subs and the donos, but the vibe. Because like I said, a lot of us in the room have had, depression, anxiety, addiction, whatever it may be. And, you need to be able to exercise, eat better, hang out with friends, listen to music, and, kind of check off all the boxes. But you want to make sure that you're going to be somewhere where you feel at home, especially if you have a relationship with me as a host. Not many people do. So I feel I'm the most accessible YouTuber that does sports and wrestling. Like I talk to quite a few people outside of the streams on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter/X. So don't be a stranger. Will 0-2 pitch. Pitch is inside. 1-2 count. Castellanos in the box. Big swing and a miss. Got him. One away. Next up for the Phillies, left fielder Brandon Marsh, the best beard in the business. All right, let me go get my Snapple here real quick. Give me one sec. All right, looks like I made a good decision there. Looks like they're making a pitching change. All right, I'm back. And even though the Mariners are eliminated, I'm still rocking the gear. I still have to. Always. Resident Evil. What's good? One of my favorite games. It's kind of funny too. I actually busted out my PS2 for the first time in a long, long time, and it felt good. I got Resident Evil 3 and I got Resident Evil Code Veronica, and Resident Evil 1 and 2 changed my life forever. I remember as a kid, playing Atari 2600 and Nintendo and, playing with stick figures and kind of shitty 8-bit graphics and thinking, okay, what is it going to look like when it gets to 16-bit? And then like Sega and Super Nintendo, and then going to 32-bit, like 32X, and then going into Nintendo 64 and PlayStation, and nothing will ever compare to those memories that I have. I did a reaction video for the Jags and the Saints. I'm always gonna grind it out, even if it's things that I don't have to do. I'm gonna keep grinding. Cena, yeah. I mean, at this point, he can be a guy, that wrestles like the Undertaker did when he started to get to the end of his run, where you're wrestling like once a year, or twice a year at like WrestleMania, SummerSlam, or whatever it may be. I mean, he can always do Hollywood and TV shows. As Cena as like a manager, if he was ever willing to take a role like that, or to be like, or doing something like an NWO, but with Cena, but obviously they don't want to, ruin the NWO name either. If Cena was going to run the NWO, he could have did that in like 2010, when he still was in his babyface prime, and then that would have really shook up wrestling for the better. But he had a great career. And I feel like John Cena was one of those guys too, which is kind of like Kobe Bryant. When they were wrestling and playing basketball, I wasn't really a big fan. But after Kobe retired and after Cena has kind of slowed down and not been a regular anymore, I really started to appreciate the greatness of his career. And I still have in my collection, from way back in the day in his prime, a purple headband and wristbands from obviously the John Cena era, still in the plastic, from an event that I went to years ago, I believe in Seattle. So got Marsh in the box. Best beard in baseball, baby. Pitch is low, 2-2 count. I saw that. I saw that. Good for him. I think WWE is ready for like a little bit of a facelift, a little bit of energy. And Orton can do that as a face or a heel. There we go. Good defense there. 2 away. Perdomo, I see you. Next up for the Phillies, center fielder, Johan Rojas. Any other news on the sports headlines? Just type them in. Basketball, baseball, football, wrestling. Nelson. It's like the Diamondbacks are switching pitchers like every inning. This is a very interesting kind of strategy, but it's working for them. You know, like you're not going to have one guy go 6 innings, get tired, and the Phillies are going to beat them up and then end up going up 3-1. The Diamondbacks know this is a must-win game. If you don't win this, you're still going to probably end up losing to the Phillies in 6 or 7. But if you want to extend it instead of losing in 5, you have to win this game. Must win. No, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You have to win this game. 1-2 pitch from Nelson. Got him. Wow. 3 innings, 3 different pitchers. Nice job, Diamondbacks. Okay. Anything else worth watching that's going on right now for hockey or basketball? I'm looking right now. Miami Heat and the Houston Rockets, Grizzlies and the Bucks. I guess I could peep Dame and Giannis if they're playing. Pistons and Mavericks. We got the Devils and the Islanders. I'll peep that for Odin's son just to see how they're doing. Hopefully the Devils are up with Jack Hughes. Wow, it's 3-3. Wow, very close. Okay. Let me keep going. We got the Wizards and the Raptors, the Flames versus Columbus Blue Jackets. We got the Hawks and the Sixers, Cavs and Pacers, Orlando Magic versus a foreign team, and then college football SMU versus Temple. And I probably would have did a college football game today if it was a good matchup, but we didn't really have a good matchup to do. Like if there was like a Pac-12 game, like when we ended up doing Colorado Buffaloes last Friday against Stanford, that was fun. But no such luck, obviously with the games today. But we'll do Ducks tomorrow against Washington State at 12:30, and then I'll probably end up doing my Buccaneers versus the Falcons at 10 a.m. We'll end up doing that. Odin's son with a 30. Appreciate you, Odin's son. Odin, I just turned it on, bro. I'm watching. That's funny. I was just thinking about you, and then I turned it on and noticed it was 3-3. And I got it on the computer right now. I'm watching. I'll watch the rest of the game. Does Jack Hughes have any goals yet? And I appreciate your support, man. It means a lot. Some of the mods have been missing, MIA, missing in action. So it always feels good, to have goats come through, and you are a very big part of this channel. Thank you so much, bro. Odin, son, with a 30. Appreciate you, man. You're holding it down single-handedly with 50 just from you. Thank you so much, man. Some streams, we're okay. Other streams, it's a battle. It's a grind. And, we don't have those people coming in at the end saving us anymore, unfortunately. We had some heavy hitters that would do that, but that doesn't happen really anymore, which is unfortunate. But I got to stay positive, and and it's not like I ever get to really buy anything for myself anymore. Like I'm gonna have to go get some some new shoes because I've been walking so much with Paisley. My Dame 2s and holes in the bottom of them. So you already could tell, like when your socks start to get wet or they get a little smelly after going out in the rain, then you can tell, oh yeah, these are it's time to get some new ones. So pretty much everything that I get is going towards paying off old things that need to be paid off. So not a whole lot of not a whole lot of spending money for myself or buying anything for myself. It's pretty much for the next, probably, to be honest, probably for the rest of this year and going into probably summertime, I'll have to just be paying off things that I need to pay off. And then once we get into fall of next year, hopefully at that point, I'll actually be able to, buy myself like something, a jersey, a TV, a jersey, shoes, or whatever it may be. But I do appreciate that very, very much. Thank you, man. $30 holla from my boy Odin's son. Appreciate you, brother. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, 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 bang. Thank you. Yeah, keep me updated on all the wrestling stuff too. Rampage, SmackDown, Raw, and Dynamite, all that. Collision. Uh-oh, wild pitch. Appreciate you, bro. Anytime I end up getting anything a little bit extra, obviously it's going to go towards typically my sanity, Paisley, and if I can, obviously back to the important people on this channel that make it go, like Sarah. So it just kind of sucks because I was really looking forward to doing a lot of giveaways here in 2023, and I haven't been able to, just because of the lack of support. So, but as long as we keep grinding, we can keep those subs, going in the right direction, And eventually we'll get new goats and we'll get new mods and we'll get new people to support the channel that will be loyal, that will be here. Appreciate you, Odin. You're a goat. I appreciate you more than you know. Pitch right up the middle. Pass Sanchez. Got him at first. Marte to third. All right, Sanchez is going out of the game now. Manager's like, I've seen enough of you. Bullpen game on both sides. I ended up putting up some stuff even while you weren't in the room because I just do that, for people that that take care of me. So I had a couple things up there for you and a couple cheap photos as well. But I had a feeling that you would probably drop in at some point. Appreciate you, bro. You want to see specifically, just holler and let me know. Appreciate you, bro. Pacheco. You gonna go meet Lawrence Taylor, bro? You get lucky with a lot of the wrestling, autograph shows and former athletes out here in Oregon. No one fucking comes out here. Like you got to go to like Seattle to actually meet someone, and it would probably be like a Seahawk player, or maybe we'd have like some former Blazers out here in Oregon, or but it's like you're not getting big names like that. Out here on the West Coast, maybe like in California, if they have like a Comic Con or a WrestleCon, you might be able to get something. But I mean, we have pretty cool Comic Cons here in Portland and Seattle. But I mean, normally that would be to meet more like Jay and Silent Bob, Stan Lee when he was alive, stuff like that. But Lawrence Taylor, I mean, golly, to be able to get like a autograph mini helmet or photo or a card signed would be kind of neat. I mean, regardless of his pregame activities with maybe some substance and some ladies, whatever worked for him. I mean, he's still going to be known as one of the best defensive players ever. And, the closest thing that we got would be maybe like a Micah Parsons today, and he's no Lawrence Taylor. So he's close, but he's got to do it for like a long part of his career. He's only at the beginning of his career. Any new wrestling figures that you purchased? You know how much I love wrestling figures, bro. Like I feel like you and me love wrestling memorabilia probably the most out of everybody, as far as like being a collector of like wrestling memorabilia. I know Sarah has a lot of love for the wrestling as well, but I feel as far as like our, collection of like wrestling things, I feel that you and me probably got a little bit more. Yeah. Tell me about it. And I really appreciate you sending me those figures that you did because I haven't been able to go. No, there's no more Toys R Us, even though they're starting to open up some of them. There's another RBI. Diamondbacks. Wow. There we go. But I really do appreciate you ended up sending me that Kenny Omega, John Moxley. I still got it, and then I still have those 3 AEW figures, the Sting, the Jericho, and the Kenny Omega. I actually went through my boxes last night and the night before and ended up looking at them, and it busted up my PS2. So I actually, the funny thing is, I actually have a hockey game in my PS2 that I'm going to play tonight. I have NHL 2002 for the PS2 in there right now. But I feel like NHL 94 and 95 for the Sega are two of the best old school. But those PlayStation games on PlayStation 1 and 2 are still pretty fucking fire, too. I got like 20 games on the PS2, so I got enough to keep me, going and, be entertained. Paisley still doesn't understand what the PlayStation is. She looks at it and is confused seeing me like stand up and, playing certain games and whatnot. Because normally, I haven't really played a whole lot of video games while I've had her and whatnot. So Blades of Steel, yes. I have Blades of Steel. I still got Blades of Steel as well. Even the NHL game where you had like skinny, medium, or chubby player that you could have and you could skate around. Even the NHL game is pretty fun for the original NES. Blades of Steel better because you could fight, obviously. Popped up for Christian Walker. Oh, 2 count, 2-0 Diamondbacks trying to tie up the series, just like the Houston Astros did to the Texas Rangers. And then they ended up taking a 3-2 lead. So, Rangers won 2 games in Houston, and then Astros were like, we're going to win 3 in a row. They did. Walker, see you later. First out by Hoffman, just a different pitcher every inning, it seems like. Next up, right fielder, Tommy Pham. Yeah, but I got some really good ones too. I got a Case Logic that's full from the front to the back, and I got 50 DVDs, even including some ECW and WWF old DVDs, and then I got in a bunch of good movies, classics, funny stuff, kung fu stuff, just comedy, action, whatever it may be, and then a bunch of games on top of that as well. Well, I was playing last night, PlayStation 1 NFL Blitz, and I got that for the 64 as well. That game still holds up to this day. So we gained a sub. Bohm with a perfect throw. And we're at the end of the third inning, 2-0 Diamondbacks. Nice job. I got 7 ECW DVDs. Oh my God, I should probably watch them. I'm just glad that, I ended up hanging on to most of my systems. And I feel that, like, as far as like vintage systems that I appreciate the most, PlayStation 2, I have a lot of love for PlayStation 1, but PlayStation 2, Nintendo 64, I have those. I got my original Nintendo. I got a lot of that stuff, PS1, 2, 3. Gave away my 4 to my old boss who had COVID. Don't have any of the new next-gen systems, but I would like to invest, if I can ever get the donos up to a point down the road, I would love to invest in a Sega Dreamcast. Get an extra controller, get the fishing controller so I can get the bass fishing games, the one that vibrates and you can use it, and you can do like tournament bass fishing, and then a lot of the other Dreamcast games that I actually used to love and enjoy. That's the one system that I regret getting rid of. I wish I still had my Dreamcast, but that'll be the thing that I try to buy for myself. Obviously, I cannot afford to do that anytime in the near future, but at some point I will. That'll be a really cool thing to be able to get my hands on, and I'll actually really love and appreciate it. I don't know how much Dreamcasts are going for, but I would assume they're still going for even used 100, 150, something like that. And then, having to find those games and then that fishing controller and anything else. So Game Boy Advance, those are still cool. You can get the, Game Boy Color, original Game Boy, Game Gear. I had almost every, system that you could think of. The only systems I didn't have growing up are a Jaguar, the 32X extension piece for the Sega. I didn't have that. TurboGrafx 16, I didn't have that, but I had a friend that did. One kid in our school had it. He has passed away now. My boy Ryan Miller, rest in peace. But he had a TurboGrafx 16, which is pretty fucking dope. Bonk's Adventure. And then I actually had one other person that I knew that had a Neo Geo, and that motherfucker was rich. Like, if you had a Neo Geo back in the day, that motherfucker cost like 500 back in the day, which would have been like 1,000, in reality with all the games and whatnot, like Final Fight. It was like the closest thing to an arcade system you had at home. So, no problem. Keep me updated, bro. Kyle Schwarber in the box. Yeah. So, like I said, for a good chunk of us, with the mods and the goats, everything is good. It's just a couple of them that have fell off, which is very disappointing. To act like I'm not disappointed in those people would be, would be an understatement. It's like, regardless if, you can, donate or not, you can still, show support. You can show up. You can hang out. You can share. You can reach out to me and ask me how I'm doing. And so it's, especially for someone like me that has given back as much as I have in the last couple years, getting jerseys and, Mitchell and Ness. And, it's like, I'm not going to do that for just fucking anybody, so definitely, I definitely appreciate the ones that have done big things, but I'm disappointed in others as well, though, because like I said, for us to be able to keep the momentum going in the Uncle Mo, we need everybody, And I know some people have gone through some, good times and some bad times, but I can't think of a better place to get back on track mentally than here. So, everything is a choice. You choose to be here, you choose not to be here. You choose to like posts, you choose not to like posts. Just like in, everyday life, right? Everything is a choice. You make a choice. There's 24 hours in a day, and if I'm streaming fucking every day, there's a 3 to 4 hour window every day that you have to come in for even at minimal 30 seconds, 1 minute, say hello, gotta go, bye. That's better than just, avoiding, us in general, right? 38 to get to the goal. Oh, Schwarber, like I said, he's going yard. Back, gone. My ESP is very strong. Schwarber bomb, 2-1 Diamondbacks. Too bad they didn't have anybody on base. Electric. People seem to forget that he almost hit 50 home runs in the regular season. Schwarber bomb. Unbelievable. Next up, shortstop Trey Turner. Yeah, I definitely could have chose somebody else, but I knew that, that you would still be here, good, bad, and that, we're going to get to a point where, we're going to start matching up with some of the bigger channels that do sports and wrestling. But again, it's all about support, from the regulars, the mods, the algorithm, continuing to improve the channel. And if you go back and look to see where the thumbnails were at and where we're at now, the backgrounds, where they're at and where we're at now, I mean, the only thing that's missing is just getting the right people here. We just have to wait our turn. And I don't think there's another channel that can match us based off, knowledge and stats and analytics. I just, it's just one of those things. It's either you're going to support, or you're not. That's really what it comes down to. Yeah. Yeah, but I already know that big things are going to come because I'm built different. If I can go through all the hardships, with views and people in the room and subs and donos, and I can go through all of those things. I mean, it's going to prepare us, when things get really, really good, that I'm always going to be the same person. I'm not going to be a changed person like a lot of these YouTubers once they start hitting those big, big numbers and the bigger money and the more recognition and fame. Some of those people change. Most of them do. So nice. Trey Turner pops one up all the way back to the warning track. One away. Next up, first baseman Bryce Harper. Sounds good. Go, Bryce. Dragon Lee. Nice. I like Dragon Lee. I need to be able to start watching more wrestling, but a lot of times when it's on, I'm streaming and whatnot. So, I mean, I'll continue to do the pay per views for WWE every month, but since the move, I haven't been able to watch Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Rampage, or Collision as much as I would like, to be honest. Like a little piece of me is like a little bit empty. It's like I need to make sure I get that in my life. Because I mean, compared to football, I mean that's what I like, watching the most. Besides NFL and college football is AEW and WWE. That's facts. 2-1 count to Bryce. Chop foul. Bryce, chop foul. 2-2 pitch. Got him. Miguel Castro with a strikeout on Bryce Harper. Next up, third baseman Alec Bohm. Crown Jewel. Yeah, the only Moe's that we have here is the seafood place that I go to that's on the coast. That has the amazing clam chowder and crispy shrimp and cod and everything else. So Moe's sounds like it must be like a Midwest thing, or maybe it's an East Coast thing. I don't know. We don't. The only Moe's we got is a seafood jump off place. Take a peek to see what else we got going on. What channel is SmackDown on? Is it USA? Fox? Is it Fox now or US? What channel is it on? Fox? Fox. Maybe I can turn it on right now. Let's see. It won't let me do it from the through the email or whatever through on here online. I have to go in the living room. We'll end up doing Ducks Washington State tomorrow. Then I'll probably end up doing the Bucks and the Falcons in the morning. And we'll keep an eye on Ravens and the Lions. There's going to be some good matchups. And then we'll end up doing I'll do a few reaction videos. And then we will end up, maybe like 2 or 3 if I have the energy. And then we'll end up doing the Sunday night football game with the Dolphins and the Eagles. See if there's anything else going on here. A guy in the building. What's good? Raiders. Like I said, it would be very hard to be a fan of that franchise. You just have the memories from the past, but they definitely need to fire him. 100%. Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul. And Logan Paul hasn't had a championship yet, and that might be his first. Because you got to think at some point they're going to put a belt on him, at some point or another. So. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. in the box. Bottom of the fourth, 2-1 Diamondbacks. Yeah, and it kind of sucks too because I would assume a lot of the Raiders, probably don't want to be there. Like Jacobs probably doesn't want to be there anymore. Devontae's not happy. I don't think Hunter Renfrow gives a shit anymore. Like I feel like the only person that is kind of maybe like, likes it there or, knows that they're, the real deal Holyfield is Max Crosby. He's going to grind it out no matter what, regardless. Because, he doesn't have to – he gets paid off what he does. It's all motor and effort. You know, if Devontae Adams doesn't get the ball, maybe he doesn't run routes as sharp or as hard and gives up on some routes and whatnot, gets frustrated. Max Crosby doesn't have the option to give up. He knows he's the only one that can make fucking plays on that defense. And if he ends up making plays, Raiders have a chance to win. If he ends up being lazy or having a lazy mindset and giving up on plays, then, the defense is absolutely terrible. So Max will always be my number one on that team. Actually, probably my favorite player on the defense since like maybe Howie Long. You know, it's been a minute since I've really felt this way about a Raider player. And obviously on the offense, it's like a Bo Jackson or like a Tim Brown. Best of 7 series. Phillies up 2-1. Diamondbacks fighting though, and I like the effort. And anything that you guys want to see, as pictures or, whatever, just let me know. Any type of news you guys want to drop in the chat for NFL, MLB, NBA, or NHL or wrestling, go right ahead. I'm just soaking in as much sports as I can. And then we'll end up going on for probably a long walk with Paisley again later tonight. And maybe get some PS2 in for a little bit. And then I'll wake up early to watch Penn State and Ohio State. I'll be up at like 6, 7 a.m. And then we will do Ducks in Washington State tomorrow at 12:30. Longoria in the box. Game 5, probable starters Zach Wheeler and Gallen. Ooh. One-two pitch from Hoffman. Got him. Two up and two down. Bottom of the 4th, 2-1 Diamondbacks. I don't know, man. Raiders misery is right there with Broncos misery. Obviously once the Broncos, get rid of Russ and then they figure out how they want to structure that team, the Broncos are like the Chargers. They have injuries galore and they never go away. Like, the Chargers are, they have one of the best rosters typically from top to bottom on the offense and defense, but they never can stay healthy and have shitty coaching. That would make me want to pull my fucking hair out. So it's like they're never going to be able to do anything, until Herbert maybe ends up leaving. So yeah. Well, he probably didn't think Carr was going to be gone while he was there. He thought that they would probably be playing together, and things would be going good. They would be able to turn that ship around. Yeah, but Max is my favorite player on the team probably in the last 20 years. I don't think there's been anyone else that I've felt this way. He can play on any team. He's going to be a game changer, and he's been one of the best in the NFL this year. Every year he's one of the NFL's best. Just doesn't get enough credit because he's on the fucking Raiders. But we can give him credit. End of the 4th inning, 2-1 Diamondbacks. We'll throw up a photo for you. Stud. Wish I had him on my team. Like the one thing that you can be excited about each week is him. Seeing if he can take over the game single-handedly, like a TJ Watt or an Aiden Hutchinson. That's what he is. And the thing that I respect about him the most is his motor and never giving up. When you get a player like that, I mean, it's an inspiration not only to the teammates, but across the league. Like, he knows the team isn't fucking good. He knows it, but he's going to, do his best. Even if all the other 10 guys with him suck ass, he's going to do everything in his power to get the dub, and he single-handedly almost won that game against the Packers. So, salute. MAXX, baby. Yeah, too bad he's not alive still. Not all his fault, but he does make a lot of mistakes. But I mean, if he had a better head coach, better play caller, and a defense that never got fucking hurt all the time, and as well as all the skill position players. But Herbert is not elite. So, good quarterback, but not elite. But I mean, if you're a Raider fan or Bronco fan or Charger fan, still with everything that's going on, you still, no matter how good the three teams get, they still can't beat the Chiefs. So it's like, no matter what happens, like the other three teams are in fucking misery with each other. And then even when the Chiefs aren't that good, even though the record says they're still one of the top 5 teams in the NFL, but there's still some weaknesses there on defense and on that wide receiver room. But it's like, when are we going to see someone actually beat the Chiefs in that division? It doesn't really feel like it's going to happen anytime soon. Yeah, everyone in misery there. Devin Booker in the house. Big swing and a miss. Oh, nice little blue single by JT. There we go. Tying run on in the 5th. Next up, right fielder Nick Castellanos. I like it. She, has the Asian representation, for, Mariners and Seahawks and whatnot. But I'm not a big fan of hers. I think she's really intelligent and really, really smart. But I'm not going to go out of my way to listen to anything that she has to say, or write about or talk about. I think it's good that she's representing the females and representing, and getting some, Asian representation in the sport world and whatnot. But, she doesn't do it for me. Like, I could go the rest of my life without listening to her talk ever again. Not a fan. But big ups to her with everything that she does. I know she's a hard worker and very, very smart. But just someone in the sports media that I just really don't care about. I mean, if I'm going to listen to someone that is smart, I'd rather listen to Cynthia Freeland. Cynthia Freeland is better than her. So. Or if I'm going to go like Colleen Wolfe or something like that. So Cynthia Freeland for fantasy, Colleen Wolfe for anything NFL. If we're going over females. Another pitching change, huh? God, so many pitching changes. Yeah, they look like they have a lot of fun when they do like the fantasy show. Like I don't usually watch too much stuff, but I'll watch Good Morning Football, a little bit of Pat McAfee, but I won't watch it all the way through. Like maybe like 5 minutes of it, depending on it. And then depending on how good it is, I might watch a little bit more. But typically 15 minutes or less is all I watch out of Pat McAfee show now. It's not as good as it used to be. And then I'll watch Good Morning Football for the full show. And then even though that's not as good as it used to be. And then I'll watch a little bit of NFL fantasy with Cynthia Freeland and Adam Rank, and I can watch that show and stuff. But there's not a whole lot that I can really sit through anymore. Andrew South Frank in the game. I like Cynthia Freeland too because she's got a great attitude. She's always smiling, like no matter what. Like she has a very infectious attitude, and she's very underrated. She's one of the best in the business, like Colleen Wolfe. Pitch is outside. 1-0 count. Pitch right down the middle for a strike. 1-1 count. Top of the fifth, best of 7. Philly up 2-1 in the series. Marsh pops one up all the way to the wall. Wow, nice RBI. Now we got a 2-2 game. There we go. I'm happy that this game is so competitive and close. There we go. No problem, baby. No problem. Best beard in football. No, no, no. Best beard in NBA. No, no, no. Best beard in MLB, baby. It's even longer now than this photo. I saw that. You gonna wake up early to watch that Ohio State and that Penn State at 9 a.m.? You gonna watch that? It's like must see TV. Who's your prediction that's gonna win that? Are you gonna get the upset with Penn State, or Ohio State's gonna feed off that crowd and they're gonna get the dub? I mean, it really is gonna come down to quarterback play for Ohio State. Wow, right to third base. Good defense there. Let's go to the bottom of the fifth. We're knotted up at 2 now. Captain Caveman, baby. Wow. SMU 41, Temple 0. Why the hell is that on ESPN? It should have had a better matchup than that one. We got Spurs and Warriors here in about 17 minutes. I'm going to watch a little bit of that. A little bit of Wemby, a little bit of Steph Curry. Well, he's saying it because he wants to see the teams in the division suck forever. I don't think the Chargers are that stupid. But even if you get the right coach that comes in there, they're still going to have the curse of the injuries. So, I mean, until Herbert goes to a new team, you're never going to see the best of him. I'm definitely watching a little bit of Wemby and the Warriors here. All right, I got that screen all set up now too. Tip off Lakers and Nuggets. It's coming up here pretty soon. When's the NBA tip off? It's coming up pretty soon, isn't it? Is it next week? It's on Tuesday. Lakers, Nuggets, Suns, Warriors. Strom on the mound. It's like, Jesus Christ, this game has had so many pitchers. 0-1 pitch is inside. 1-1 count. How's SmackDown going? Is it good? What would you rate SmackDown so far on a scale of 1 to 10? Devils up 4-3. 10 minutes left. Hang on, brother. Oh, that's cool. Mello and his son. You already know when we're getting old as shit when we're starting to see like LeBron James' son and Carmelo's son and Dwayne Wade's son, and they're actually getting closer to playing like college ball or go to the NBA. That's when you know you're old as shit. But I don't feel old though. I honestly feel like I'm in the best shape that I've been in since I've been in my 20s. Decent. So what are we talking? 7? SmackDown's a 7. Perdomo. Oh, good defense by Castellanos. Nice. One away. Now I got Spurs and Warriors here about to come on in a couple minutes. Sting full retirement. I saw Darby got a new face tattoo. 7.5. Oh, that's not bad. $62. 38 to go. Marte with all the gems. All right, show him. Former Mariner. Let's see what you got. Anything new going on in your life, Odin son? Between you and the kids, the fam, collectibles, anything new, work? How's the weather in New York been? Has it been pretty rainy and gloomy? How's the weather been? A lot of work. Any cool homes that you're doing any renovations on, like that one Yankee fan and that crazy remodel? Anything like that? Perfect. Oh, good. Good to hear. Now, some days it will be a little gloomy out here, but regardless, as long as me and Paisley aren't getting poured on, I like being outside. I like nature. I like being able to smell that fresh air, and I like going on 30-minute to hour walks. And going on adventures with her. So I'd be in a much darker place if I didn't have Paisley in my life. That's for damn sure. Check swing. Did he go? It looked like it. Is it as far as like dispensary stuff for where you guys live, Sarah and Odin? Is it you guys? Is it just medicinal now, or is it recreational that's available for you guys? That's the only thing that keeps me fucking sane, because like I said, I don't party anymore. I don't really drink anymore. So I mean, really, the only thing I got left is that. But again, I have to make sure I get all these other things taken care of. But if I have to choose one thing for me, it'd be like, okay, maybe I need to make a visit. Like I need to be able to keep my sanity. regardless if it's during stream or after, or if I'm watching Dexter, or a regular show or whatever. Oh, really? Nice. Too bad you guys just don't have the options that I do out here. I mean, it's just ridiculous on how many that they have out here, and like the quality is just freaking ridiculous. And it's also cool too. It's like, if you want to get something other than flour, like something like edible wise. I mean, there's just so many options now. It's like cookies, brownies, like kind of like granola bar jump offs, Starburst chewies. Like, I mean, it's like it's just crazy. Rollies. Like I've never been like on the cigarette tip. Like I think I'm the only one in my friend group or out of anyone that I really know that has never did it or quit it or it continues. I'm like literally the only one that's never smoked and doesn't have any kids. Like everyone's got kids, everyone smokes, it seems like, but I got to be able to, have something. But I do love rollies, especially if I can get my hands on some that are, a decent price and a good flavor. Always good to, have those on like a walk, or if I go somewhere with Paisley, like when we used to go to the river, a little walk to get down there and just enjoy nature and whatnot. Yeah. They're not actually Starburst, but they taste like it. Just like a little square. And they used to have like, milligram 50. Now it's like 100, in a package. So you get 10 pieces. One is 10. You can do like two and you're good for a couple hours. Bryce throws it into the crowd. End of the fifth inning, 2-2. We're still knotted up. Yeah. Well, that's good to hear. Yeah. And like I said, I feel with me, it's like even though I cut back, because I never was an alcoholic, thank God. And like I never like got the feeling where I had to have something every day or multiple things a day. I've never had to get to that point, but I mean, I've really, really cut back soda, fast food, drinking, you know what I mean? And obviously, I've been grinding here on the channel with you guys, spending a shitload of time with Paisley. And, I've dropped 60, 70 pounds, since COVID and feel great. It takes a lot of fucking dedication and a lot of effort. Um, but I mean, I have been craving a little like Blue Moon with the orange peel. So, and when I was hanging out with Erica and whatnot, like, it'd be nice. I could actually end up and, go into a couple spots and whatnot and, have a little bit here and there and whatnot. But it's been a minute. Nothing like a Blue Moon fresh out of the tap with the orange peel, man. Let me tell you. Still 4-3 Devils. Yeah, hopefully, I'm looking at the stat line now. 5 to go. I'll turn it on. I'll watch the last 5 minutes with you. Oh, Hughes scored. Nice to give you the lead. I assumed that he did. Wow, you have two Hughes on your team. Yeah, L and J. What's L's name? Good old Larry Hughes and Jack. Because I'm going to watch a little bit of Wemby here in like 5 minutes with the Warriors, but I want to get a little bit of this devil action here against the Islanders. Let's get this going. All power play goals. Nice. All right, I got it on. 5:22 left. I mean, if you're watching it live, it might be less than that, but I got a little bit of a delay. Top of the sixth, 2-2 Phillies and Diamondbacks. Schwarber, most home runs in NLCS history. Schwarber, number one with 10. Luke Hughes, I knew it wasn't Larry. Larry wouldn't be. Larry Hughes is like a basketball name, right? Larry Hughes, basketball. I figured it was going to be like a Luke or something. You just try to think of fucking names that start with L. It's not as easy as you think. Take out Larry and Luke, and then what the hell is another L name for a guy? Kind of hard to think of right off the top. Pitch low and inside. 3-1 count to Schwarber. Less than 5 minutes to go here with the Devils and the Islanders. Hopefully, the Devils can hang on. Schwarber to first. Yeah, finally. Fucking A. It took them like 5 or 6 games to get their first win. That's dog shit. That's what I was trying to tell Megan. It's like, even with Gru, you can't expect him to do everything, and you don't have enough goal scorers. You need people that can fucking score, and if you don't got guys that can score, and a lot of them, you're going to be fucked. And it hasn't been good so far in 2023, but hopefully it will improve. Nice job, Schwarbs. Next up, Trey Turner. Show me, Trey. Bianca's back. Always liked her. We threw up her on the stream yesterday for Calvin. Calvin loves Bianca Belair. She's a total package. She could get a little bit better on the microphone, though, but I feel like her skill set isn't terrible. She was never really terrible on the mic like Roman Reigns when he first came in. I felt like she was kind of average, and she could still work on it. Sometimes it's like you have to be able to know how to talk and how to cut a promo and not have it sound fake. It's like like you're memorizing it, or it seems like you're not in the right cadence, like the way that you're speaking. It's like you want to make sure that it's like a real promo. But again, it's one of the hardest things to do is to be good on the microphone on whatever you do. If you notice the people that are the best on the microphone, whether it be on YouTube or Twitch or on TV or wrestling, good people on the mic and great people on the mic are far and few between. All right, yeah, I'm watching the Devils game for you. Last 4 minutes, bro. Thank you so much for your support, brother. Anything else that you want to see before you go? And come through, even if you can't donate, whenever you can. And I know you always do. But you're the MVP tonight. If you didn't do what you did tonight, we would have had a shitty stream. I mean, I would have still had a good time doing the regular thing, but as far as donos are concerned, you made it successful. So I appreciate you very much. Same thing with Megan as well. And that'll help because I need to get some new shoes and whatnot. I'm not going to get like some Vapor Max if I'm going to be out fucking walking with Paisley 3 times a day and walking in bark dust and grass and walking through parks and dirt and shit. So I'm still going to probably try to get something, but yeah, my dames are fucking holes on the bottom because I've been walking so fucking much in them. Let me get some photos for you right before you go. George, what a good choice. OG, bro. And I got all my wrestling figures in my windowsill right here from when I was a kid. I got Luke and Butch, the Bushwhackers, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Andre the Giant, and Big Boss Man. I never had Andre the Giant as a kid, but my dad got that for me as a gift. And it's from the same era, like, 89, 90, 91, 92, and very cool. I also got Roddy Piper and Jimmy Snuka, but they're in the box with all my other loose ones. Let me get you this George Animal Steel. Good choice, dude. I have to find a vintage one. Here we go. Thank you for everything you have done. You've been so consistent. You've never wavered, and I appreciate you very, very much, bro. I got one with classy Freddie Blassie in it too. Plus, it's cool too because I think you, me, and Sarah were all around the same age, so we have all the same memories growing up. Like, I feel with some other people, they're younger or older, so they might remember, you know what I mean? But they're not. If you're like literally 38 to 42 years old, then you're going to be right in the wheelhouse of that time period. Couple years younger, couple years older, but you're still going to be on that same memory tip as us. So. Yeah, I think I'm going to go to probably Dick's Sporting Goods tomorrow morning. But I got the Ducks game, so it's like I don't have a whole lot of time. I'm going to try to find something. I'm not going to get something cheap because I'm going to be walking a lot, so I don't want to get some like $50 to $60 shoes and have them wear out in like 3 months, and I have to get another pair. So probably on something like 100 to 130. I would like to get something 150 or 200, but I can't do that. But 100 to 130, that way I know that or if I can get like $150 shoes for like $90, or $200 shoes for like $100, yeah, that's what I'm going to be going for. So. And I like Vapor Max, but if I'm going to be walking around in harsh conditions, the air bubble will pop in those sons of bitches, and then then you're going to have to get another one, and it's a lot of money paying $200 for Vapor Maxes, but those are my favorites. So I'd rather have Vapor Max over Jordans or KDs or anything else. So. All right, 4-3 Devils. I still got it on, and I'm going to be turning on the Spurs and the Warriors here in a second. Bryce Harper, good eye, 3-0 count. What kind of shoes do they have at Kohl's? Do they have all the name brands? Do they have what do they have? Like Adidas and Nike and Reebok, or what do they have? Yeah, I don't mind. Like I said, I have my Dame Road City Reds, like Dame ones, from like 7-8 years ago, mint condition. I've never even tried them on. They still smell brand new. And I was like, oh, I don't want to wear these outside because one step, they're going to get ruined. They're all red. They got little roses on them and shit too. That's pretty dope. And then I got a pair of airbrushed Tampa Bay Buccaneer ones that are like tucks, but I don't want to wear those outside either because those are both collector items. So. But if I have to get, even like a running type shoe, yeah, I don't mind. I mean, if I can get like an ASIC or New Balance that's perfect for my foot, if I'm going to be, walking for 2 hours a day every day, I need something that's going to hold up. So, Nikes, Adidas, Skechers. Okay. Bryce Harper with a walk. Phillies are about to take the lead, and if they win this game, they're probably going to win the next game, and the series will be over. All the Diamondback pitchers are just terrible now. Three consecutive walks. Not a good look, Rook. Steph Curry, baby. 30 points, 8 for 12 from 3, 5 assists. Always so fun to watch. Altuve, most home runs in NLCS history with 11. Islanders, no. Thompson, Curry, Wiggins, and Paul. Freaking CP. Overtime. Dang. We might actually end up getting teams advancing to the World Series tomorrow. Phillies are going to win tonight, and they'll probably win tomorrow. And then I would assume the Astros will win tomorrow. And if that happens, then you're going to get the Phillies and Astros, celebrating tomorrow. And I got Spurs and Warriors on the TV here as well, or on the computer. God, I wish I had good running backs in fantasy. This shit is just making me pull my hair out if I had any. I have to fucking have like Rashad White and fucking Jalen Warren. That's terrible. But if I can get 10 points each out of them, I can win. So it's just like finding those guys. And I got Jeff Wilson. I just need him to get off IR. And if that's the case, I'll start him and with Jalen Warren. And hopefully those guys will put up 10 to 15 for me, and that'll be enough. But not having any running backs that you can count on is not a good feeling. Since Montgomery went out with an injury for me. Throw it home. Safe. And another person. Safe. Wow. This one's over. Go to second. Out. Two runs are in by the Phillies. A really aggressive base running there. Rivera with the low throw, and that's the beginning of the end of the Diamondbacks in 2023. More than likely. It's one thing for one guy to go home and to get in with Schwarber, but then to have Trey Turner running fast behind him and then being able to sneak that extra run in, that won the game. That effort by Trey Turner running the bases aggressively won the game for them. No slowdowns. And he's coming in from second base after the wild throw from third. Here's Schwarber, wild throw. He doesn't think Trey Turner's coming, and there he is. And if you would have ran to the baseball 100%, right, then you would have got Trey Turner at home and prevented that other run. So, but a good throw, though, to get the Phillies there at second base from Bohm, but it's over now. Bryson Stott in the box. We need to get you a win in fantasy, Sarah. I saw a poll on the ESPN. They said there's still like 400,000 fantasy football players that haven't had a win yet. Like 2% of all the leagues that they do in the league that we're doing don't have a dub. Got to get a dub. Yeah, but hopefully next year will be better and it'll be more like it was last year for you. Can't predict injuries. But I imagine you're going to be a lot more aggressive on the wire in the first 3 weeks in the future because you don't want this shit to happen again. We want to have you in the playoffs. We don't want to have you winless or, at the bottom. We want you at the top, competing for the championship with me, Reflect looks like, if the running backs don't get hurt for him, he could end up winning the championship with those three strong running backs. But if he has any injuries to the quarterback, and obviously he only has one kicker and one defense, that's where you have to take a chance, I guess, to either have one quarterback, one tight end, or one quarterback, maybe one tight end, one kicker, one defense, or maybe two tight ends, and go heavy at running back, or, I go with, two quarterbacks, two kickers, two defenses. I don't fuck around like that. I'm always you're gonna never let Burrow forget it. You'll never draft him in fantasy ever again. Like in fantasy, when someone burns me, I cut him. Like you burn me unless you're really, really good, and I'll put you on the bench and I'll make you pay. Like it's like you have a kid and you're putting the kid in timeout. I get pissed. Like when I put someone in the starting lineup and I see someone that I was going to start, but I decided to believe in you for 1 week and give you a chance, and then you put up a 2 or something or a 4, I'm like, oh, fuck no. Like, you will never get into my lineup the rest of the year. I'll find someone else. It's like, I will not give you the pleasure of gracing my starting lineup ever again. I hold grudges. I try not to hold grudges in life. Sometimes you'll have enemies and things will be good and sometimes things will be bad, but holding grudges is not good for the mental health. But no matter what anyone says, I'm not going to be a fucking Jose Altuve guy. Fuck Alex Rodriguez. Fuck Altuve. I'm never going to be on those guys', but Hurts and Allen, yeah. Well, you can tell, obviously, with the Jags and the Lions, like I predicted, it's like I see it and I'll say it and then it happens. I think it's really funny, though, that I mentioned to Chief when he was undefeated. And I said, you're very top-heavy. And I said, if you get any injuries with Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey, or Devontae Adams, you're not going to be 5-0 anymore. And me and Reflect are going to catch up. And literally, as soon as I said that, all three guys are hurt now. Like, if people don't believe that I got the ESP and I got the gift, of the sports gods, then, I don't know what else to do. With all the ESP shit that we've been doing every fucking stream. There's usually at least like 1 or 2 moments. Hi, Paisley. Jack Hughes, baby. Devils win, Devils win, Devils win. Paisley's in here. It's like, Dad, I miss you. I love you. I always thought, Devils win. I always thought, if I was a father, that I would be like a really good one. There's certain people out there that, like, once you become a father, either a son or a daughter, or like in my case, with Paisley Pup, it's like it changes you, like for the better. Devils win, Devils win, Devils win. Congrats, brother. 4-2 Phillies. Do you think the Pats will fire Billy B after the season? No, I do not think they're going to fire Billy B ever because of what his legacy is. And right now, he cares about Super Bowls and he cares about AFC championship games, right? So if he's not getting those things, what is Bill still staying around for? He's trying to end up being number 1 in the win column. So when you have Don Shula and all these other people and he's getting close, that's why he's staying in the league. You have to think, he knows that the team is no longer Super Bowl caliber, but at this point, he will leave on his own terms, and, Kraft will not fire him, and he'll make the decision. But what they're going to do is they're going to continue to tank, and they're going to try to get Drake May in the draft. And if they can end up having a top 5 pick and get Michael Penix Jr. or Drake May or a Quinn Ewers or Caleb Williams, that's what they're going for, And then if you get that, still, the team has problems, but, you might be able to fix some of the problems. And we already know the Bills are vulnerable, right? And Miami is on the up and up, but the Jets, they're still going to be shaky, so. $62 hairs. Good old Billy B. They'd be stupid to fire him, though, because you're not going to get anybody better. Even though he's sucking as of late for the last few years, well, duh, no Tom Brady, no Gronk. That's big. The best quarterback, arguably, the best tight end, arguably, or one of the top 4 quarterbacks of all time, one of the best tight ends of all time, whatever ranking that you want to put him in with, Joe Montana and Peyton Manning and, whatever, you hate her, you love her, whatever, but 2 of the best that have ever played in their position are definitely up there. And then not only that, playing together, and it's like, you're not going to replicate that ever again. Not Paisley. Paisley's waiting for Dad. You miss Daddy? Miss you, Paisley. Oh, I got to turn on the. All right. 4-2, bottom of the 6th. All right, bottom of the 6th, 4-2 Philadelphia. Dominguez can throw those heaters 100 miles an hour. And they're just trying to put him away already. But if you ended up getting a quarterback that ended up being like, let's say, a top 12 quarterback or a top 15 quarterback out of Drake May, and then you ended up getting a few more weapons in free agency in the draft, and keep beefing up the defense, like they're still going to be bad, but they might be able to be like somewhat competitive. Like just under a 500 team if you add the right pieces in the next 2 years. Like you can always get past the Jets if they don't have Aaron Rodgers, and then you'll be looking up at the Dolphins, but Buffalo isn't as good as they used to be. And if you get a Drake May and Drake May ends up being good, like that could turn that franchise around. It ain't going to be the players that they have now with Mac Jones, who's a joke, and Zappy's better than Mac Jones, but he's not good enough to lead them to the playoffs. So they got a lot of holes to fill. O-line, wide receiver, running backs, defense. I like Judon and I like Christian Gonzalez, but who else? Oh, Dominguez walked him. I got Bleacher Report out. You said you wanted pitchers. Goldie, 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 Mariners, Mariners. No, you need to have him. You would be depressed. Like it's one thing that's like when you're good and then you're not good. Like the last thing that you want is to see like superstar players leave. But I did read on some of the reports for like Gold Gloves and how Eugenio Suarez actually was top 3 in almost every statistic. Didn't even get nominated. Like they just did it based off like name recognition and whatnot. Like Eugenio Suarez was even better than Nolan Arenado last year. Not better than Machado and a couple others, but I mean, he was up there in the top three in a lot of the statistics. That was a little surprising. I figured Eugenio would be top five in most statistics, but he was in top three in a lot of them. I was like, wow. But still, no name recognition. So no recognition, no love. You know. But we definitely need a better first baseman. That's the first position to improve because Ty France ain't doing it. Careful, careful, honey. You're crazy. She's like a big baby. Like no matter how old she gets, most dogs will not let them like if you have a medium or a large size dog, most of them do not let you like cradle them, or hold them in certain positions. Like usually dogs are gonna, not want to feel like hugged because it feels like you're, preventing them from moving. They don't associate hug with love, you know. At least some dogs can do like a hug when they're like big and they stand up when you're standing up and then they'll hug, but it's not like a natural thing that most dogs do. But like with me and her, like, I can hold on to her like if I'm holding on to a newborn or like, 2-year old, 5-year old, and just like hang out and just chill. Don't eat out of my garbage. There's no wrappers or food in there for you. I'll give you we're gonna go on a walk, another walk pretty soon, and I'll give you some food and we'll give you some snacks. We'll, give you some blueberries, strawberries, watermelon. You eat good. She literally eats better than most people. Like barely any like dog cookies anymore. I got these like blueberry yogurt ones that are bomb, and then pitches outside. 1-0 count. But it's usually blueberries, strawberries, sometimes even organic stuff, and like watermelon. The good stuff. And then not too much food. And always make sure that I give her a snack of food when we get back from a long walk. Because I know if I would want something to drink and eat after I got back from a walk, of course the dog would too. So now she's just in the room. She likes being close to dad. All right, bottom of the sixth, 4-2 Phillies, and a grand opportunity for the Diamondbacks here. Big swing and a miss for Gurriel. 2-1 count. You got runners at first and second. If you can come up with a big home run here, or a big RBI, it could be the difference between you still playing or getting eliminated tomorrow. All right, Gurriel, show us. Getting kind of interesting now. There was a stretch in the game where it was exciting, and then it was kind of like boring, and then now the action is picking up again. Baseball games tend to do that, where you get kind of like you watch a game, and even if you're like really hardcore into baseball, right? You get to a point in the game where you're like, golly, it's just like, hurry up already. It's like nothing is happening. Like you're pulling pitchers, no one is scoring. Like, come on. But I think Diamondbacks fans know right now the season is on the line. Like, are you going to lose this, and then your chance of going to the World Series is over tomorrow, Or are you going to keep fighting and tie it up and then have it go 6 or 7 games instead of 5? That's what you're fighting for right now. Got him. 99 by Dominguez. Oh, my. I don't think it'd be worth the money because, Jerry Jeudy, needs more help, to stay healthy. You're going to overpay either in money or draft picks, and it's just not going to work out. Remember, you have Gardner Minshew now. You guys are now going to be in tank mode. You guys are now going to try to find weapons for Richardson next year. Why win games and try to get Jeudy when you can lose games and get Marvin Harrison Jr. or try to? Think about it. And I know most fans like you and Elliot and myself, we want to win games because that's in our nature. But already what we saw with Gardner Minshew, he's regressed. He's gotten shittier than he was as a backup in the previous years. I mean, if you're going to throw 3 picks and like bad ones, like you're not going to be able to get wins for the team. You have to be perfect or throw like 1 pick or 2. But if you're throwing 2, you better have 3 or 4 touchdown passes. And that ain't happening this year. Not with the offensive line and the offensive weapons you have and the defense getting tired out there. So I would say no. Because if you're going to waste capital on a draft pick on a guy that's probably not going to pan out for your team. He's a name, but I don't have confidence in him. He would not be a good person to get, or even a Cortland Sutton. That's a good player, right? But it's just like the Bronco curse, Charger curse with all their players. It's like sometimes it's just better to stay away. Now if you were in contention for the playoffs and Richardson is healthy, right? Then maybe, trying to give up some capital to try to win the division over the Jags or keep up with the Texans, then fine. But in this situation, now it's like tank mode. You're not winning games. And honestly, this is me being 100% honest. Even if you wanted to win games, you're probably not going to be able to. The roster is hella not good enough. Like there's some good pieces there. Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor, Richardson, but he's hurt. And obviously on the defense with Shaq Leonard, and DeForest Buckner. I mean, there's pieces, but you don't have enough. It's like if you got 5 pieces out of 11 on offense, that ain't enough. You got 3 or 4 pieces out of 11 on defense. That's fucking not enough, especially when you've seen how the Jags are playing. And on top of that, the Texans are already better. So it's like you're already seeing like them leapfrog you. So, and even if Richardson was healthy, there was a possibility that even if Richardson's healthy for the whole year, that you and the Texans go neck and neck for second place. Who knows who gets it? The Texans are good. I wouldn't have CJ Stroud in my fucking fantasy if I didn't think that they were good enough for me to roster him. Just in case Mahomes gets cold or gets hurt, and CJ is going to score some games in fantasy 14 to 15, which sucks ass. But some games he'll put up 20 to 25. That's good. So, you have to take your good and your bad, especially if you have a good defense. Motherfucker's a rookie, just like Richardson, But that's my outlook on your guys' team. Just keeping it real. I don't want to tell you what you want to hear, that your team is better than they are, or, oh, yeah, Judy's good. I got to tell you from a friend and like from my, GM kind of like coach standpoint, and I'm looking for your future. Fuck spending capital now. Think about next year's draft and how good it is. There is so much talent in next year's draft. Arguably, it might be one of the best drafts in the last 10 or 15 years, depending on how many quarterbacks pan out and how many of these sleeper players pan out in this draft. It could be one of the best drafts in 20 years, especially if you have 5 quarterbacks pan out, 3 above average, 2 elite, 3 or 4 that don't make it, right? And then quality offensive linemen, wide receivers, a couple sleeper running backs, defensive players, some studs, maybe some Hall of Famers in this next draft next year, all pros, Pro Bowl players. So, yeah. Because you have to come to the realization that, even if you spent the capital, you're probably not going to be able to beat out the Texans. You might be able to, be either you or Titans battling for third, but is it possible the Colts get hot and then they get second place over the Texans? Of course, even with Minshew. But I think with CJ Stroud and Anderson and the way that team is feeling themselves and CJ is not turning the ball over, it's just a matter of time before the Texans start winning the division on the regular or flip-flopping with the Jags back and forth. So if you want to be in that mix, you got to be able to firm up that O-line, get better weapons for Richardson, cut your ties with the guys that aren't good enough and keep, improving. You know what it takes to be good. The Marvin Harrison, the Dallas Clark, Reggie Wayne, not what you got right now. That's not good enough. You got Peyton, Luck. You know what it takes. You know, Dwight Freeney. You know, Robert Mathis. That type of talent. If we're not talking that type of talent, and you're going to be dealing with mediocrity, or you're going to be above average, get hurt, and then go below average. Bob Sanders. Yeah, but they're not playing like it. You're not winning games that you should. And like overall, you know what I mean. They're not playing as good as what we're used to see them playing. They can have statistics that rank them in the top 10, but when you as a fan are watching them, do you think they're playing like a top 10? Fuck no. They're playing much worse, at least visually. Some statistics say they could be top 10, but it doesn't feel like it. We need to feel it when we're watching the film. Triple safe. Wow. Love you, Paisley. I love the Paisley pup. I mean, don't you think? Like, you can look at statistics, and I can look at like, a team, like my own, like the Buccaneers, right? But it's like I know when I'm not as good as some of the other teams. Like you can put the Buccaneers there with like the Seahawks and the Cowboys and the Packers. You can put them like all in that same mix, but you can definitely tell which ones are a little bit better than the other group. Like there's more confidence in the Seahawks and the Buccaneers overall from the fans across the league, except unless you're a Cowboy fan. Cowboys are going to be good sometimes, sometimes bad. But as long as my defense holds up throughout the year, I should be able to beat out the Cowboys and the Packers and be closer to like us and the Seahawks getting close to the Lions and the Eagles and the Niners. And remember what I said. I said that the only way that the Seahawks and the Buccaneers and the Lions and some of these other teams, we're going to be able to compete is if the Eagles and Niners got injured. And then you're going to be able to have like a Lions and then possibly a Bucks or a Seahawk team overachieve, but it's only going to be if injuries happen. And if injuries don't happen, then those three teams are going to run away with it. I don't see any Seahawk or Buccaneer team keeping up with the Lions, or the Eagles or the Niners. Tagging up, safe. 5-2 Phillies. And then on the AFC side, for me, it's Chiefs. But to me, it's kind of, I don't really believe in them. I don't like what I see from Mahomes, the O-line, the fucking wide receiving core. Defense, I'm not feeling it this year. Buffalo has too many injuries on defense, so I can't really believe in them. So it comes down to me believing in the Dolphins and believing in the Jags. Those are the two teams that I believe in, and then the three teams, Lions, Eagles, Niners. So I got 5 teams that I believe in. I don't believe in anyone else. Everyone else is good, but not, good enough. So fire Billy B, the GM, then and keep the coach. Yeah. Yeah, Kraft and everyone's staying. They're just hoping that now that they can get like a Drake May. If they get a Drake May and Drake May ends up being a top 12 quarterback and he actually pans out with like Caleb, and maybe Michael Penix Jr. is maybe hit or miss. I mean, hopefully he ends up being like a Tua. I feel he will. The only thing that'll hold Michael Penix Jr. back is his injuries, and if his injuries can hold up, he'll be a Tua and hopefully in the NFC. But then we can get like maybe a Drake May in the AFC, Caleb Williams in the NFC. So, usually a majority of these quarterbacks are going to be in the NFC side. Got him at second. But if Drake May pans out, that could be huge. That could get New England back to being relevant and saving Billy B's career. And again, Billy B is going to hang out until he ends up being number 1 in wins. Watch. I got ESP. I'm a time traveler, so I should know. So, he's only hanging around for the statistical, I am the best statistically. I already got this with Brady and everything. Now I have to try to win every fucking record and go down in history as number 1 in wins. That's the only sole reason he's there. And then obviously if you can get a Drake May and that pans out, then you're beating the Jets. You're competing with Buffalo and Miami, and you add some more pieces. If Drake May pans out, add another couple pieces, a couple 2 or 3 years of good drafting, then they might end up being a top 2 competing with Miami and even being on the Buffalo level. But they're not there yet. but got a ways to go. So, oh yeah. And out of the probably 12 to 13 quarterbacks drafted in the first 3 rounds, you're probably only going to get 2 that pan out elite, 3 that are above average, and then you're going to get probably about 5 that bust. That aren't just or they're not going to be able to do it. So, and yeah, and it depends on who decides to trade up. And out of all the shitty teams that are in the top 10 that only have, 6 wins or less, a few of them have 2 to 4 wins. Who values those guys more? Who gets someone to fall in their lap like a Michael Penix Jr. and then he ends up being the NFC Tua? That's what I'm waiting for. He's my favorite out of all the QBs. And then Caleb's up there. Obviously, I know he'll pan out. And then you got Drake May on the right team, he should, but on the wrong team, he may not. Same thing with Michael Penix Jr. and Caleb. I mean, it really depends on where you go and how confident you are in your abilities, and obviously what the coaching and the supporting cast looks like. So, for example, you could have Caleb and Drake May go to kind of like shittier teams, like let's say Cardinals and Pats. Michael Penix Jr. ends up going to a team that's maybe slightly better with pieces in place, and that might be the player that elevates faster than the other two. If Drake May and Caleb are elite, eventually they will, but it may take them half a season or that second year to really show what they can do, or that next team. So it definitely feels like much better than the Trevor Lawrence draft, because all you have in that one is Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields, and Justin Fields still hasn't proven that he can do it yet consistently. He probably needs to go to a different team, but I think he's shown enough where he could be a guy that could be successful running and throwing the ball, but probably no higher than like number 10. Like, he'll be a 10 through 14 quarterback, unless he gets on a team like the San Francisco 49ers. Then we would consider him a top 8 quarterback, because then he would not have to do as much. He wouldn't even have to run as much. It's just like fucking run when we tell you, and don't throw picks, and we're going to win with you. So I don't know if Caleb would, with the Cards and the Pats, would kill. I don't think any team will end up eliminating any of the elite quarterbacks. It's just going to be a little bit of a roadblock, and the shittier the team is, that means they don't have a good supporting cast. Then you have to look if they have a good coach or not, and then who do they have calling plays. So I don't think, Drake May, Caleb Williams or Michael Penix Jr. will fail due to the team they go to. They're too good. So it's just a matter of how fast do they dominate. If you slide in the draft and you go to a better team, you're going to dominate quicker. So but sometimes, being able to resurrect a franchise, will be why we want to root for these guys. Like Caleb goes to the Cardinals and makes the Cardinals fun and relevant and like the team that's like exciting again. Back when they had Kurt Warner and made a Super Bowl appearance, like if it ends up being that Cardinal football, that'll be awesome. It's like we need to be able to have guys go to a franchise and turn that shit around. Drake May making the Patriots actually fucking watchable. What would be bad about that? I mean, you're just worried because you think he's going to fail. You know what I mean? But me, like, evaluating quarterbacks since the 80s, like, it would be pretty far-fetched to see him fail completely. Like, will he be, like, worse than people think? It's possible. But I think that if he keeps working hard, that, there's a good chance that he'll be at least above average, and then good, and then elite. It all depends on how hard he's willing to work. But the natural raw talent is there. Michael Penix Jr. has got it for a lefty. He's like the, clone of Tua. He could be, the NFC's Tua. He will. The only thing that will hold him back, it won't be his leadership or his skill set or his knowledge or his intelligence. It's going to be his body. As far as like Caleb and Drake May, it'll be based on the decision making. If they fuck up in decision making, then they're going to fuck up their career. But if they are as good as they are in college, they'll be fine. They already know that they have to protect the football and don't fucking force it. So, I mean, for those 3 quarterbacks alone, fucking exciting. Then Quinn Ewers from Texas, Bo Nix, and a few of these others, they're hit or miss. You don't really know. They're more like Bo Nix is like backup, and maybe like a Baker Mayfield gets a chance on a team like the Bucks and maybe can do something, but doesn't have enough skill right out of the gate to go on any team in the NFL and break out. There's guys that are better. and I'm a Duck guy, so I should know. If I had a choice to pick Bo Nix or Michael Penix Jr. or Caleb or Drake May, yeah, I'm definitely not picking Bo. I'm not an idiot. Oh my God, yeah, but that it depends on who has the first pick in the draft. Because first pick in the draft is going to be probably Caleb Williams, unless they fall in love with Michael Penix Jr. and they end up going to the college football playoff. He wins the Heisman, and they really want to build around him. Then maybe Michael Penix Jr. goes number one. But I would assume even if Michael Penix Jr. wins the Heisman, Caleb will go number one. He's been too good for the last 2 years. He's built like he could be the NFC's Patrick Mahomes. So hard to pass up on that, especially if you go Michael Penix Jr. number one and then he ends up having injuries, and then Caleb Williams at number two ends up being a Hall of Famer. You'll never forget it. So, but there's no guarantee that Caleb will be a Hall of Famer either. But based off scouting, 99.9999%. I don't give a shit who ends up getting the pick. It more than likely is going to be Caleb. They're going to give him the benefit of the doubt based on how good he is. He doesn't have to win the Heisman this year. And honestly, winning the Heisman would probably be not good because then too much pressure. Back-to-back Heisman winner, first pick, and then what happens if he starts fucking up? Then he might derail his career on his own because he's in his own head. Then he thinks he's better than he is. Like he, in his mind, then he has to be like Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, John Elway. You have to be that. And if you put that much pressure on yourself, you could fail. If he's not built strong enough, you have to be mentally strong. It's not just a physical skill. It's the intelligence and the mental health. Are you the strongest motherfucker on planet Earth? Are you strong? Can you handle the criticism? Can you handle 4 picks? Can you handle that? And some guys can't. And we find out that very, very quickly within the first 2 years in the NFL. Or we figure it out within the first 3 or 4 if he has to go to that second team and see if he can have a rebirth. But not every number 1 or number 2 pick pans out. A lot of them fail. And it's not because of the skills. It's the mental aspect of it, the failure, the expectations, pressure, everyone counting on you. So sometimes it's better not to go number 1 or number 2. Just ask Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston. I knew they both weren't going to pan out. I saw what Jameis was off the field and his antics. I knew that even the skill set would, derail because if you're not mentally all fucking there and you're irresponsible and you don't respect people, and you're, stealing shit and, and hanging out with females and inappropriate touching, and shit and getting in trouble for it. Like, you're too immature, bro. I don't give a shit if you won the Heisman at Florida State. You're an idiot. I already knew the Bucs weren't going to succeed with him. And I knew Mariota, if we picked him at the Bucs, he wouldn't have panned out either. Injury prone. I love the guy, but I like Joey Harrington and Herbert and a few other guys more just because it's like I like the Mariota era and he won the Heisman, but I'll always be more of a Joey Harrington, Justin Herbert type of guy. LaMichael, D'Anthony, like Mariota is like 5th on the list or 6th. Like loved him, but there's other guys that I love more. D'Anthony, LaMichael, and then Joey Harrington and Herbert. So like some guys just they hit their ceiling in college and they don't get any better. But some guys elevate and get better. So no, I don't think so. Because I think he's too naturally gifted, and I think he'll have the right people on his team to will him to be able to. I'm having problems mentally. Can you help me? And I think he's going to have the right family members and friends to, boost the ego up. But he already has enough ego and boost for himself, and then based on what he's reading and what he's watching and what we think of him. So I think that the probability of Caleb Williams busting is probably 10% or under. That's very, very low. Some guys it's 50-50, but I think it's probably, 5 to 10%. Could it happen? Yeah, but I don't see it. I don't give a shit what team he ends up on. He's going to change that franchise. As long as they have good GM, owner, and good play callers, eventually, while he's there in his first 5 years, he'll turn some shit around. And that's what we want from Drake May and Michael Penix Jr. also. We want 3 guys to turn that shit around so that way that the Patriots and the Cardinals and the Bears or whoever end up being relevant. Like you could trade Justin Fields away, draft Caleb, and draft Marvin Harrison Jr. Good, boom. That's what you got. You're going to build around that. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it won't be just Marvin Harrison Jr. and Caleb's fault. Then you got to make sure you get O-line like a motherfucker, like O-line. Fuck the other receivers and the other running backs. O-line. And then you give Caleb and Marvin the best chance possible on the Chicago Bears to pan out. You trade even some other guys away to make sure that O-line is fixed and figured out within the first 3 years they're there, or it's not going to work. But their natural gifted ability will make them make plays. But if you want them to dominate, you have to have the O-line firmed up and beef up that defense. So they could go that route. And even though Chicago is kind of a dumpster fire, they could turn that ship around. Get the right coach in there, the right GM. And then if you're going to trade Fields and go Caleb and Marvin, you think the Bears fans would hate that? Hell no, they would love it. They like Justin Fields good enough to keep, but if they were able to get Caleb and Marvin, they'd be like, yes, let's do this. Let's start over. We already know what we have with Justin Fields. He's going to get hurt. He likes to run. He can't throw very well. But if he had a better offensive line, his throwing would improve. But we think Caleb's better. Fuck it. Do it. Throw to second. Force out at second. But if I'm a Bears fan, I like Justin Fields and DJ Moore, but I understand if I have a chance to get Caleb and Marvin and then the Bears actually do it, you are probably jumping for joy because it's going to be the first time that you actually believe the Bears will be able to get to 10 wins in 5 years after drafting those two players, and you might be able to turn it around in a year or 2 or 3, depending on what else free agent moves are done, and if you can build the O-line and the defense immediately after drafting those two guys. And if that is a possibility, then Bears fans like Kyle Brandt will fucking love life because then they'll actually be excited. But you got to beef up that O-line and that defense because that's more important than Caleb and Marvin. Oh, Orion is coming in the game. He's closing it down. Kirkering. Oh, doggy dog. Oh my God. I'm looking at a post that someone posted Toys R Us cards with the Toys R Us sets that came with the starting lineups and just Toys R Us cards themselves. Lee, I remember these. This is like my childhood. Toys R Us Topps baseball rookies. Oh my God. I literally just went back in time and being 5, 6, 7 years old. I sent it to you, Sarah. Yeah, we're good. I mean, I know what our weaknesses are. It's not head coach. It's not coordinator. It's not wide receivers. Not quarterback. It's not defense. It's running backs. It's like Keyshawn Vaughn and I thought Rachaad White would be better because the O-line would be good, but he can't do it. I have him in fantasy, and he's been a disappointment. We need a true number one running back, and that could help us. So that's the one part of our team that we need. So, if we were going to make a move, to try to get a Derrick Henry or a name, that could really help us. Because if we ended up getting a Derrick Henry, the Bucks could beat the Seahawks, the Lions, the Eagles, or Niners. It would be tough. But if we got a piece like that, that could really, if Baker can still be good on third down, we play the elite teams like the Niners and Eagles and Lions and lose, but we could beat everybody else. So, but it shows you the Bucks, even with Baker, we're only 1 or 2 players away. Add another offensive lineman, get a good running back or 2, and then we could actually be a 10 to 13 win team with 1 or 3 more guys. It's we're not that far off. So, but I mean, I was really hoping for a bad Tampa year, barely winning anything to get one of these amazing quarterbacks. I would love to have Michael Penix Jr., or a Drake May, or a Caleb Williams, or Quinn Ewers as my quarterback. I would be ooh, this would be fun. But besides those 4, I wouldn't bank on any of the others panning out. Those would be the ones that I would say have the best chance of panning out. Everyone else is 50-50. Good, There's a couple more after that that could, but there's also another 5, 6, 7 that probably won't. But there is a chance that one or two of the others that are very big names still in college football could, or they'll decide to go back to college and then they'll, like if Caleb decides to go back to college and decides, he wants to be number one in the following year and whatnot. And then we'll have Arch Manning and a few of these other guys that'll be coming out, and hopefully those guys will pan out. So hopefully the NFL in the next 5 years will have 10 new starters, out of the 32 in the next 5 years. We have like guys that actually are like out of the 10 quarterbacks in the next 5 years, hopefully like at least 4 are like elite. We need to make sure the game keeps moving forward. Cool, right? Like Judah is my boy Judah in the building. I was looking at a post of Toys R Us cards, and I'll put it on here. And I literally went back and like, dude, this is like crazy. I'm a big toy collector and card collector, bobblehead, but cards and figures are like a huge thing for me. Wrestling figures, McFarlane, starting lineups, baubles from the Mariner games, but check this out. Maybe you guys have had some of these or seen these before at a card shop or your friend's house, or maybe you had some. Bro, jeez. Look at the names. It tops Toys R Us. And they also had starting lineup cards inside of the figures and stuff. I mean, this hits. Like, I don't know what to say. There's not very many things that get me too speechless. Sometimes it'll be Franz Bread Blazer cards or Dairy Queen Blazer glasses that were collectible. I have like over 100 collector glasses of Buccaneers, Ducks, and specifically Blazers. I have like RC Cola, fucking Bill Walton from like 77. Clyde Drexler rookie Sunshine Pizza glass from 1983 that's worth like $100. Like, people don't realize like collectible glasses can be worth 10 to like $100. Like, there could be glasses out there that actually have a player image and then like a pizza joint that don't even exist anymore, like the Sunshine Pizza collection. It's fucking from 1983. It's got Clyde with a fro. It's one of his only pieces that he actually has that is considered rookie, because like even his rookie card didn't even come out to 86 because they had Star Brand cards. So anybody that was a rookie in 84, 85, and 86 is in the 86 Fleer set. And that's why the Jordan rookie that I had and the Drexler, that's the most coveted set, because it literally has Jordan, Drexler, Barkley, Malone, Ewing, anybody that was a rookie besides like Magic and Bird that was on the same rookie card with Julius Erving in 81, 80. So tops. I should own that card too, but man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Billy B. But again, if Billy B gets a Drake May and then it pans out, he can end up going slower or shorter. Because if he ends up getting a quarterback that can get him 10 to 12 wins in 3 years, then you're going to scoop up more wins quicker. So then you may not have to coach as long, but I guarantee Billy B is not retiring, and they're not going to fire him. They're going to trust that he'll figure it out and get the right quarterback. There we go. Nice walk. We got to come back. We got to come back, baby. The game started off with a bang. Then it was boring as fuck. And then boom, boom, boom. And then a boom, boom, boom. And then now we got 5-3, bases loaded, game on the line. And then Judah came in the building. But I mean, I'm a time traveler, ESP, I'll predict, I'll tell you something, and then chances are it'll probably come true. I'm like Miss Cleo back in like the 80s and 90s, but I'm actually legit. I'm more legit than Tony Romo. We should do a tally of how many like ESPs, and every show we have this many ESP moments. And you guys sometimes will have ESP moments too. Elliot will have them, Some of y'all will have those moments. It depends on how much film you watch and how much reading you do. Oh yeah, garbage pail kids, man. Bro, I was born in 82. So I got boxes on boxes on boxes, full of toys that are not even opened. So Orion doing a good job there. Orion Kirkering. Yeah, no, but I got Ninja Turtles. It was a big thing for me. It's one of my top three. G.I. Joe, Real American Hero. I still watch the cartoon almost like every day. I like to go back into my childhood and make sure I touch on something that was from the 80s and 90s to make me smile. Sometimes as you get older, you want to reconnect with your toy collection or with your magazines or with your, CDs or tapes or records or clothes, starting lineups or whatever it may be, sports cards, posters, and certain things like are really, for your soul. And if you can go back to that time when you loved everything from 5 to 12 years old, those things are going to be some of the most precious things that you've maybe forgot. Like if you actually could go back into a box or into like a bag and dig through your toys that you had when you were 5 to 12 years old, I mean, do you think that would make you happy or not? Of course it would. You'd be like, oh my God, this fucking Hot Wheel. Like I was able to go through some of the Hot Wheels and Matchbox and stuff. And I for real think, there's some kind of time travel going on, because out of all my Hot Wheels, and I told this story, I was born in 82. So you would think if I was born in 82, all my Hot Wheels would be from like 1984 to like 1990. But why are a majority of my Hot Wheels from like the 70s? That doesn't make any sense. Like I only had one that was like over 82. That was like in 87. And it's not like they were bought at like garage sales. And the way that the Hot Wheels worked at Toys R Us is that they would load them in every quarter, and they would, each year things got upgraded. They didn't have old Hot Wheels sitting on the shelf from 2 years before. And if they did on clearance, it was super, super rare. I mean, normally they got moved to the back and then they ended up going to some other distributor. But they had new ones, and then those years move on. You typically don't see older Hot Wheels from years just at like a location like a Fred Meyer or a Target or a Kmart or a Toys R Us. But I like, and then I even have like a Japanese ambulance that's from Japan. It's like a brand that I never heard of. And the cool thing about it, this Japanese van, like Hot Wheel, it actually, the trunk opens, and some of the Hot Wheels in the Matchbox, the obviously front of the trunk, back of the trunk, and obviously the hood, you get different movements, and then you can open the doors. Those were always the ones that are going to be my favorite, is like the one old school Hot Wheels from like the 70s and the 80s that actually move. They have movable trunk, movable hood, movable doors, stuff like that. And I was able to go back and find ones that I obviously thrashed inside on the carpet, on the linoleum, outside. Hold on. But I'm telling you, to be able to find like, wrestling figures from when you're a kid, or G.I. Joes or Transformers or whatever you may have had, Power Rangers, X-Men, G.I. Joes that were big, not like the 4 to 6 inch figure, but like the ones that were like a foot to 2 foot tall. Nice. Celtics glass. Hell yeah. I like the petroleum and the petroleana. I mean, I like American pickers. I watch, and Pawn Stars. I watch stuff like that. I'm a collector. My dad's a collector. My dad's been a fan of the Dodgers since the 50s. That likes antiques, but loves vintage Dodger rare stuff, like rare photographs that are taken by the players, like in the dugout or behind the scenes, and like, special black and white stuff, bats, ball, jerseys, cards, just rare memorabilia, thermoses, from back in the day. Yeah, but I'm looking over like I have like a dresser. And I mean, I got like King Griffey Jr. stuff, auto on the photos of me and Griffey Sr., autographed baseballs, King Griffey Jr., and the foul balls that I got, my baubles from the Mariner games, a couple custom Duck McFarlanes, one of one pieces, a couple of my Hot Wheels Camaros. Those are Hot Wheels, and then a blue and a red one, and then I got like kind of like a Ford Bronco 4x4, and I also have kind of a Lego from like the 70s and 80s, like a vehicle with a guy in it. It's like mint condition. Like to be able to actually have those in your possession, because I know sometimes when you have stuff that gets thrown out, you throw it out, mom or dad throws it out, or it just ends up being missing, or you sold it at a garage sale, and then you like regret it. You think, oh God, if I could have had those things still. Can't put a price on some of that stuff, but you can always recollect it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got old ones and I got new ones too. And the newer ones came out like 10, 15 years ago, like when The Dark Side of the Moon and some of the movies were coming out. But the toy line was very active at like Target and Toys R Us and Kmart and Fred Meyer's. And you could buy ones of like Optimus Prime for like 15 or $20. But if you had a mint box, they could go for 40 to 75 or higher. So yeah, but I got a little bit of everything. Star Wars, big into Star Wars, Marvel. Yeah, well, Fields would just be trade bait. So if you think about it, they actually would be smart to do it because if the Bears got the first and second pick, then they draft Caleb and then they get Marvin, and then they trade Fields and get a couple more draft picks, use that on offensive line or a linebacker leader like an Urlacher type guy, Khalil Mack, then you're actually got the pieces that you need. You got the new quarterback that you believe more in Fields as a better thrower, more like a Mahomes. You got a great person to throw to, and DJ Moore still, and Cole Kmet. Offensive line, you use the picks from Fields to draft the best offensive lineman, center or left tackle that you can get, or guard, and then draft more offensive line, get some leaders on defense, linebacker or pass rusher, and then you're on your way. And that's year one. And then you do it again in year two and year three. And then by year 2 and 3, maybe the Bears are a playoff team. So, I mean, that's how I would break that down. So I think that normally I wouldn't want to pick a quarterback wide receiver. I would go quarterback, offensive line. But what happens if you pick the offensive lineman and he turns in not Orlando Pace or Jonathan Ogden, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. turns into the next Justin Jefferson? You're going to be kicking yourself. So going like the Burrow Chase thing, kind of makes sense. Or going Trevor Lawrence, ETN, teammates. Sometimes it can be something that can work out, but also it could be just beast players. And there's going to be other tests that are going to be done. And there's no guarantee Marvin Harrison actually ends up being the first wide receiver off the board. There is a few others that are going to give him a run for his money. He's got name recognition and hype, but there's going to be other guys that might outperform him in the combine, as well as later in the season. We're going to have to see how he plays. Penn State, Ohio State. Ohio State has the advantage with the crowd. Penn State is good enough to upset them tomorrow. It really is going to come down to quarterback play for Ohio State and who wins the line of scrimmage, offensive line and defensive line. Because if Ohio State wins that, even with above average quarterback play, they're going to win. But if the O-line, D-line struggle, and even if you get a big performance out of the quarterback, for Ohio State, you ain't going to win. It's like Penn State has enough, but they're going to need help. What I'm saying? They're going to need like sack lunches, picks, and they are going to have to be able to win the turnover battle. And they're going to have to get points off the turnovers. Not, I got a pick and we get nothing. Punt. No, you get a pick six. You get a pick, leads to a field goal or a touchdown. Like big things, kickoff return, punt return, pick six, fumble for touchdown. Big shit needs to happen for Penn State to win. It's not going to just be like they're going to go in there and punch them in the mouth and win. Like I would assume it may go down to the wire too. And both defenses are going to play pretty fucking good. So it definitely could be low scoring. We could get a game where things get loose and crazy and we go into the high 20s or 30s, or we could end up getting a game where it's fucking 17-14, and you kick a field goal to win right at the end of the game. Boom. Ohio State wins, field goal right at the end, or Penn State wins, boom, field goal right at the end, So, yeah, I seen his stuff. I don't watch it, but yeah, I like old stuff. Like I'm a big Simpsons fan. I like a lot of Simpsons stuff and, one of the best cartoons ever. But one of the coolest items that I have is when I was in kindergarten, me and the teacher, we linked and we were like, we're going to do Marge and Bart, right? And the teacher ended up, for Halloween and whatnot, right? And then I had the Bart Simpson. He's like, you put on this like kind of like slip-on costume and it's like, orange and yellow. And it's just got one of those 80s, masks that's just plastic with a little thin string behind it, for Bart. And then she had one for Marge, but hers was a little bit better because she had, like a wig and, the hair. and everything. So, because obviously, adult costume would be a little more. I actually have the vintage costume still, and it's worth a pretty good amount of money. Because like most Simpsons stuff from the '80s doesn't exist anymore. It just got destroyed. There's like a lot of stuff just does not exist. The really early Simpson stuff. So pretty cool. Like Goodwill? Nope. Hell no. Yeah, I'm gonna wake up early. I'm watching it, man. Like I said, I'm a fanatic, dude. I don't know how to put it any other way. It's like, I live to get the excitement, to have the hair stand up on your arm and on your neck, and just to feel the energy of the crowd and the moment. I live for moments like that. For people that do like the skydiving, that's like extreme and you can die. I'm not going to go that route. Parachute fail, then you doesn't open, then you're done. So unless you're one of those people that's like guardian angel, you broke fucking every bone in your body and you're still alive and you fell off from like 5,000 feet, people have survived. But I want to, I want that energy and feeling those moments. So hopefully I can end up going to USC because I would love to go to Oregon, USC, but did get to go to Oregon, Colorado, and that was a very generous gift from Mo Gumbo. If that didn't happen, then I probably can't go to a game this year, which would have been unfortunate. So I usually like to go to one or two a season, but I'm going to be selective. I'm not going to go just to any game. I've been to many, many games since the late '90s, early 2000s to now. So right. But if they're going to be on the road, they're not going to be able to feast off the crowd emotion. And crowd emotion at Penn State is one of the best home field advantages, just like it is at Ohio State. So it's going to be harder to be able to make those plays on the road. Now, if it was at home and Penn State's the lower seed, then you have upset written all over it. They probably would win. Penn State could beat Ohio State at home. But now, like, you have to give the edge, I feel, to Ohio State until we'll see what the quarterback and the O line and D line do, and if they control the tempo, that control the crowd, you control the crowd, you control the dub. So don't have a cow, absolutely, yeah. Like I wouldn't even sell that costume, and let alone it was mine. It's like I'm not selling that. Like how many people actually have something from back when they were like 5 years old? I'm 41. Like a lot of that stuff would be like destroyed. Something that you had when you were like 5, 6, 7 years old, still in like great condition. Take care of your shit, man. You'd be surprised on how long you can keep your things worth something. Bottom of the eighth, 5-3 Phillies. Oh, he fucking smacked that. Oh, baby. Go, 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 go. Gurriel to a double, baby. Plus, like, I like being able to help people out with parlays and betting and just educating people. So that way, even if you don't believe what I'm saying, you can have your own opinion and whatnot. That's completely fine. But if I can help people, win money and it comes true, or if I have ESP moments and I say it and it comes true, or if I say something and then eventually that team ends up doing what I say they're going to do, it's like I'm trying to help people out here. Yeah, I'm scared of heights too. Like sometimes, like I can go to like the beach at Oregon, and you can climb up on this like sand dune cliff, and I see these crazy mofo's that dangle their legs over, and I feel that like I get so nervous when I get up there that if I was up there, I would fall off. I would just be so shaky, nervous that I would just like slip accidentally. Like I would just like lean over just accidentally, and then I would like put my palm into like the sand, and all of a sudden it like slips on a rock, and there's By Orion, down 200 feet into the rocks, broken bones and not in a good position. So, yeah, I get freaked out, man. Like I'll get kind of close, but I don't know, man. I just get kind of jittery when I get up there, and I am scared of the high place. Looking down, it's I don't want death. I want to live as long as I can. We got big things to do here. We got a legacy to leave. We got dreams to be able to make. Opening up the YouTube studio here in Oregon and making other people's dreams come true, specifically kids and adults. Northwest Sports Fanatics Bar and Grill. That's going to get done too. No seats, only couches, all the video games, all the fucking networks. Okay. And then like Southern food. You got to have dreams. You got to dream big. I've already had, those three things set when I started like 10 years ago, 11 years ago. Like I predicted it would take me 10 years to go full time, and it was 10 years on the dot. If that's not creepy, I don't know what the fuck is. I was planted by the Matrix. Time traveler. Sports gods. They send me the info, I relay it to you. And then you win money, and then eventually I win money. Eventually the bigger networks and other people will figure it out. Try to be like a Nostradamus, Alec Thomas. Cabbage Patch Dolls is hella sweet. And then like if you're old, you remember my buddy, my buddy, my buddy and me, kid sister, kid sister, kid sister and me. What you know about that? You know you an 80s baby if you heard that shit. If you weren't an 80s baby or early 90s baby, then you're like, you have no idea. That shit was the shit. I didn't have one though. It's funny on those things that you can remember when you're young. Nice. And I'll always hook you up, man. Like I said, I help people win fantasy money all the time, betting straight up. I mean, for me, like if you're going to put me on the spot, it doesn't work that way. Like for me, it's like I have to get a message or like feel it, say it, and then that's what like, who's going to win this week in the NFL? Like a lot of those I'm going to get wrong. It's like it has to come to me in the moment, like when I'm watching a game, and like analyzing the footage and what I'm watching and what I'm seeing, and then giving you based on what I've seen, what I think is going to happen next instead of like, okay, who's going to win? Who's going to win by the spread or who's going to win straight up? Like, I don't think I'm going to have as good of a record, doing straight up. Like when I'm helping Mo Gumbo, I feel I'm going to get a lot of predictions wrong. I can get the obvious ones right, but in the NFL, sometimes the obvious isn't obvious. And then the Browns beat the Niners and I picked wrong. Or the Jets beat the Eagles and I picked wrong there. But how many people would have picked those? Maybe people that hate the other two teams, or they're a fan of the other, or, they just are just like, fuck it, I'm going to take a risk. And, but it's not like common knowledge that shit was going to happen. Week 6 was one of the weirdest weeks in NFL. Back. Go, baby! Alec Thomas, 2-run homer. Oh, my. Oh, this game got interesting, baby. Oh, my. It was like really exciting. Then it got to a point where it was a little boring and a little stale. And then it started to heat up, baby. They said, we don't want our season to end. I'm Alec Thomas, motherfucker. I'm going to do a Jose Altuve. I'm going to hit a home run late to give us a shot to be able to win this game. Big players coming up big in the moment. Can you believe that reflect with Altuve hitting that 3-run home run? The Rangers had to win the first 2 games on the road to go to the World Series. Now you lost Uncle Mo, and then Altuve makes the 3-run homer in the 9th. It's over. The Astros are winning tomorrow, and the Phillies, we'll see what happens if they win this game. But if the Diamondbacks win here tonight, then obviously this game is going 6 or 7, right? But if the Phillies win, it's over tomorrow for both teams. Phillies and Astros advance to the World Series tomorrow, in my opinion. But if the Diamondbacks win, they have the Mo now, so we'll have to see how it goes. Saul Goodman, my boy, Better Call Saul. Love that. I might have to start that show from the beginning, even though I already started it and kind of got in a couple seasons into it. Or maybe do Breaking Bad from the beginning, even though I just watched that like 6 months ago. And then doing that from the beginning and then going Better Call Saul. I also want to do Sons of Anarchy. So Dude, you have no idea. I was live right when it was going, bro. I mean, if you and Sauer and Justin, all my homies that are like baseball people, 4-2, right? Top of the game's over. The game is done. The game is over, right? All you got to do is just get three, boom, over, 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 and then they go up, and it looks like the Rangers are going to the World Series in a game or two, right? Here comes kind of some shitty pitching, not very good, not very good, and then a little shaky. Here comes Altuve, buzzer and garbage cans and all, Apple watches on both wrists, comes up there like a fucking stud, and has the most postseason ALCS home runs. Just like Schwarber's got 10, Altuve's got 11, and not only was it a home run, dude, 3-run homer to take the lead, and before that there was like benches cleared. The Astros, right? The pitcher threw at the hitter Adolis Garcia after he hit a big home run, hit him on purpose, got ejected, benches cleared. Dusty got ejected, even though he was bitching and moaning. And then Altuve, in like the next inning, fed off that momentum, and then they went for the 3-run bomb, and then they won. I mean, it was like the most craziest shit ever. Like momentum left Houston, and then all of a sudden they got it back with the shitty pitching, and then Altuve, and now it's like it's over. Like the Rangers mentally are done. They are not. Like this shit is over. You were up 2, they won 3 in a row. There's nothing in your DNA that's going to make you come back now. Like that was too much. That was like fatality, finish him. Like Kano ripping the heart out, in Mortal Kombat, Dunzo. Oh, golly. I mean, and Adolis Garcia, the way that he was really slow after the home run, purposely waited like 10 seconds, didn't even barely move, took baby steps, then went towards third to home, stopped, looked at him, and then took a couple more baby steps and stopped on home plate. And they're like, fuck that. And they've already been beefing all year where they kind of like wanted to fight each other. Kimbrel just being one of the Corbin Carroll on the knee, and all the fans are booing right now, which they should. If Corbin Carroll was big, I would charge the pitcher. Craig Kimbrel just being my boy Corbin Carroll. I like the Phillies, and I wouldn't mind them winning, but don't hit my boy like that. Bro, you hit him right on the thigh towards the knee. You're trying to injure my player. Fuck Kimbrel. I like the Phillies, but fuck that guy. He'll be injuring my fucking phenom. I got to get excited to watch these guys like Julio and Bobby Witt, Son of a bitch. They'll be doing that. It was, and they tried to say, oh, it wasn't on purpose. If it was, it was on purpose. Dusty's like, why would we do this in this key game? That is for next year, during like spring training. The hell it is. Not when it's like the game is on the line to go to the World Series for momentum. Trying to say that bullshit. And then he got tossed, and then Dusty stayed in the dugout for another like 5 minutes. And they had to keep like telling him to leave. And then he didn't, and then that extended the game and whatnot. And then Altuve, golly, man. Talk about clutch home run. It's one thing if it's a solo shot. It's another thing to tie it like we got here, right? When you tie it up, Alec Thomas, boom, shakalaka. But when you take the lead and you get either a 3-run homer or a grand slam, you take the lead late, the game is over. There is no coming back from that. When you have something when it rips your heart out, they mentally can't get over it. And 9 times out of 10, it's just done. There's nothing you can do. Sports gods, you can pray to them, and they ain't going to help you. You already put yourself in that fucking grave, and, you're in that ditch by yourself at that point. So. Yeah. Well, plus now that we got some dirty teams in the division. You got the Astros, you got the Rangers, right? And you also got the Angels. So we have to be on our heels knowing that besides us and the A's, we don't really do that. But the A's can get scrappy. They can get the benches cleared also. So, I mean, maybe we're just the scrappiest bunch out of all the divisions because, the Houston already has the bad reputation. And then obviously the other 4 teams, we'll fight. Fuck it. You want to start some shit, we'll finish it. You know what I mean? I don't think any of the teams the A's are the least likely to do anything, but fuck yeah, Angels and Mariners just right up there with the Rangers and Astros. And like I said, we can always fight the Angels, but obviously fighting the Astros, I think, is the most fun. It's like when you can go against the guy that is the top dog, and we already know they're known for what they do. Yeah, get a couple punches in, that would feel good. We're doing it for America and for all the people that don't cheat, right? Oh, me too. But seriously, if you're gonna throw at my head and you're trying to like cause bodily harm to me and my family and my brain, like we're dude, like I'm not gonna bring the bat out there, but we're gonna fight. We're gonna go toe to toe, and someone's gonna get punched in the jaw or the eye, or I'm gonna be swinging and I'm gonna try to get something before everyone starts benches empty. You know, I definitely would. It's one thing to get hit in the thigh or in the groin or in the foot or in the kneecap or the elbow. But once you go through like the face, where something can get broken, my eye socket, my jaw, my nose, you can fracture my skull, like you can really injure me. Like, yeah, I'm definitely, it all depends on context, you know. I'm actually surprised more people don't go to the pitcher mound with a bat, but then I think it gets to a point. A ball isn't necessarily looked at as a weapon until after the fact, but a bat is a bat. So you go out there and start hitting the fucking pitcher with the bat a couple times, then how much trouble are you going to get in? Maybe you go to jail. You ain't going to go to jail with the baseball part. You go to jail with the baseball bat, though. Especially if you clock someone in the head with a bat. That's like getting clocked in the baseball in the head, right? You crack someone in the back of the neck with the bat, that could be bad, you know. So, right. That's why they don't have too many hood players, because if we had a bunch of hood players, they'd be bringing the bat with them. Like, all right, let's fight, like some Grand Theft Auto or something. But the ones that get real pissed, they'll throw the bat, and they'll try to aim it at the pitcher if they can, just hoping that one of the barrel ends, either the grip end as you're batting or the top end, accidentally hits you, just a little bit before I rush you. Good game though. Like I said, I figured that both games had a lot on the line, and I'm glad. I know that for a lot of other Mariner fans, this is tough watching other teams. But if you are a fan of baseball, depending on if hockey's on or basketball, yeah, I want to see what happens at the end of each season. I want to see what it takes to be a team like this and how far off the Dipoto service era is from being one of these Final Four teams. Like, too bad the Diamondbacks and the Mariners can't combine to a team together. Then we got something special. Then Seawald comes back as closer, and then we get Corbin Carroll with Julio. Oh, God, I'd be in heaven. Kyle Lewis, yeah. He never panned out, unfortunately. Oh, baby. Yeah. Yeah. Heck yeah. It's a must-win game. Your Phillies win the first two. Diamondbacks show that our fans aren't as crazy as Philadelphia's, but we have good enough players and we have believed all year, right? And then you know that your crowd is doing something special because you're the worst team left out of the four, but you're trying not to get swept, to play like, oh, yeah, you got there, but you got swept. Must win. Must win game. Star. 6'5". Got interesting. All right, Christian Walker. This is their home run hitter. Walker. Oh, he got it. Inning is over, but you take the lead. It's crazy, like doing baseball for the very first time, like for a full season, doing like 100 streams for the Mariners plus and other teams as well, and following the MLB on a daily basis like I normally do for college football or the NFL. Like you get crazy information. Like you think you realize you know the league, and then you realize you don't know the league as well as you think you do. And it's nice to be able to go on that level. Look at those beauties, man. Topps Toys R Us baseball rookies. Unbelievable. Like, it doesn't even have to be worth that much money. Like, the whole set could be worth like $10, $20, $50. Who cares? It's just like nostalgia, of those names, and then the fucking jerseys, the hats, the poses, the simplistic baseball cards of legends in the 80s and 90s. Man, you can't put a price on your childhood. Fucking love it. Yeah, Danny Tartable. And like when I was going to the Duck game with my buddy Dave, he actually had like a lunchbox full, of just graded cards and cards that he had in there. And I was like, oh my God, man, like you actually have a pretty good collection. And a lot of them were like 80s. Roger Clemens rookies, like 15 of them. Jose Canseco rookies, like 10 of them. McGuire rookies, like 10 of them. I was like almost kind of in heaven, like having like good grades on them too, like 8s, 9s, 10s. Like I didn't realize my buddy collected like on that level. And it was very cool to see like those 80s and 90s rookies that I had, but he also had shit that I never owned, and also had stuff that I didn't ever have in that high grade. It was very cool. It's a game over, not yet. I'm gonna take a little peek. I wanted to check out Wemby. Spurs and Warriors. I know it's preseason, but the regular season's coming up here on Tuesday. So we'll be doing some NBA. I'll do some Blazers. I'll do some Dame and Giannis, and we'll do the good teams, Celtics and Sixers, and Seawald. So Paul, I can always root for him, no matter what. I mean, we got Northwest connections. Seawald, former Mariner. Ketel Marte, former Mariner, right? And then obviously Corbin Carroll is from Seattle, so doesn't get any better than that. Go, Paul. He looks fucking icy in this photo. I mean, if you're going to look pimp like this on the photos on the NWSF, of course he's going to get the fucking dub. No question. Go, baby. Let's go, Paul. I do love Marsh's beard, though. I like the lumberjack look. I feel like one day I'm gonna have a friend that's gonna have like the lumberjack beard, and we'll do like lumberjack things, like going to the forest and camp and mob around in the boat. Maybe do some fishing. John in the building. What's good? Game started off hot, and then it got boring, and then it got hot again. Two-two pitch fouled off. Let's go, baby. Two pitch. Got him, baby. Yeah. Fuck yeah, Paul. Before Paul pitches. After Paul pitches. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go, baby. Let's go, Paul. My boy. Paul Sewald, baby. Before. After the punch out. Nice job, Sewald. Feared the beard. And Sewald's the perfect person to be on a team like this, you know? Like, you got to have that closer. You got to have the superstar, Corbin Carroll. You got to have the closer. We had it. Julio. Sewald. Yeah, excellent pitch. And Paul knows how to squeeze him in there too, right on the corner where it could have been if it was just a little bit more. It's a definite ball, but he definitely plays the zones really well, has good speed, good location, and the best part about him, he's confident in himself and his abilities. Doesn't matter what else is going on. He knows I'm Paul Sewald and I can get this done. You know, and every once in a while he'll fuck up just like everybody else. We all fuck up, but he normally cashes in 8 out of 10 times. And that's what you have a good closer. There are going to be those 2 fuck ups, but everyone's going to fuck up. Go, Paul, or 2 count. Smoke them. Just outside the zone. Oh, they are going to hold on to win the game. Momentum is shifted. It is 100% over. 100. Worth Scott's information. Smoke them. Fouls it off. One-two pitch. Come on, Sewald. Pitch is outside. 2-2 count. Don't lose it. Keep the momentum. Keep your location. When things start going south and you start seeing that first walk, and then it's like, uh-oh. You know, it's like you got to make sure. But he's looked pretty on. You know, it doesn't look like he's losing his touch. Good eye. And it wasn't the ball. Three-two pitch. Got him! Fuck yeah. Nice job, Paul. That's what I'm fucking talking about. No fear, dude. Mad respect, dude. Like, there's certain players that, you know, you just root for. You know, and sometimes you won't root for guys when they go to new teams. But, I mean, this guy, everyone in Seattle was rooting for this guy. Everyone in the Pacific Northwest is rooting for this guy. Let's go. Oh, my God, Schwarber. Wow, I don't even know if that was Sewald. That was more like him. That was more like Schwarber. Schwarber almost hit 50 home runs in the regular season. He can pull the ball in any direction, and his strike zone. I mean, that was inside, and he pulled it. And his wrist speed was insane there for him to be able to pull that fair. That was just a Schwarber play, you know. I mean, most of the time that would have been a strike or a ball, you know, inside. They're going to win, though. They got this. That was big. Trey Turner, too. That's tough. Like, you have to have ice water in the veins. Like, you can't look at Trey Turner. You're just like, I'm better. You know, I'm one of the best closers. You know, I got you. I own you. Got to make sure you get him in the zone. Yeah, it started off kind of boring, though. Like, it started off with a bang, then it went to a boring moment. where there was not a whole lot of action, and then it really started to heat up late. 1-0 pitch. 2-0. Don't walk him. And Trey will be good with his eyes. You know, he doesn't really chase too often. Disciplined hitter. Come on, Paul. Yeah! Fucking right by you. Keep that confidence, Paul. Know that your best stuff will be better than his best stuff. Your best pitch is better than his best swing. In this very moment, not all the time. Smoke him! Let's go! One more. Let's go. Smoke him! Right down the middle, Paul. Smoke him! Popped it foul. Oh, and he dropped it. Grab it! He's in the front row, so he got a souvenir. Here we go. Smoke him. Don't even have to fucking pussyfoot around this shit. Oh, maybe outside, maybe inside. Fuck it. Right down the middle. You either are going to win the game or I'm going to be the hero. What's what it's going to be. I'm going to smoke you or you're going to hit a home run. Let's go. Smoke it. Get him, Paul. Smoke it. There you go. Talk it into existence, baby. Talk it. Walk it like you talk it. Walk it like you talk it. There we go. And easily that could have went, the other way, but momentum in sports, sometimes you feel it, and there's nothing that was going to take away what happened after them, getting the lead. They had to win that. It was a must-win game yesterday, must-win game today, and now you have to give yourself a chance to at least have it go 6 instead of you getting swept or only winning 1. So now you're representing as like, hey, the Diamondbacks are for real. We are the 4th team out of 4, but we're still good where we can take it as far as maybe the Rangers are going to take their series. Maybe, we'll see where it goes. Both series are going to, be in 6 or is it going to be 7? Where are we going to go? 6 or 7? I love it. I mean, could you imagine if the Diamondbacks actually beat the Phillies somehow, like by a miracle? Every team that has beaten the Brewers in the last 15 to 20 years has advanced to the World Series. Who beat the Brewers this year? The Diamondbacks. So, they're definitely the biggest underdog in sports right now. But they're playing if you get Corbin Carroll playing great and Seawald closing, you're going to have a chance. There is a possibility that you steal one in Philadelphia, or maybe 2. You'd have to play great, and that the crowd is the number 1. Philadelphia's crowd is number 1. So, I mean, you have to find – you're not going to be able to advance unless you can win there. You have to find a way to get the crowd to be a little bit quiet. They're going to be drunk, but, drunk and pouty instead of drunk and cheering, Nice bath. And sometimes, you don't have closers. If I'm watching a game and I'm going to be like, smoke them, I'm never going to say that unless I have the utmost confidence in you. I'm never going to say it. You have to be that type of pitcher and you have to have that type of swagger and confidence, knowing that, sometimes you're going to fuck up, but 8 out of 10 times, you're going to get it done. And then, the smoke them becomes, reality. That's the way that you win with him. You smoke him right down the middle. You don't pussyfoot around the inside or the outside at that last moment. At the very last moment, my best, your best, right down the middle. I'm smoking you, and you're either going to hit a home run or I'm going to strike you out. And the legends step up and get those strikeouts. And Seawald, I see you. Awesome. Thomas. Big home run for him. And this guy, you might have heard of him. And of course, some Mariner fans are going to get pouty. Oh, we traded away Paul Seawald instead of being happy for him. Reflect with this area. Appreciate you, dog. I wish I could have a fantasy team as good as you. Bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Maybe we'll see each other in the championship. It's a high possibility. Hawks. Rita. Holla, holla. Holla, 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 holla. I gotta watch a little bit of Wemby and the Warriors. It looks nice on the screen, doesn't it? Swaggy vibe. Like Ducks and Seahawks definitely got a Paul Allen, fucking Nike kind of vibe feel. Swag. Appreciate it. Yeah, because you can always get kickers and defense. It might not be a top 5 choice, but you'll take whatever that's on there because there's a chance there'll be at least one that you'll be like, well, this isn't my number choice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but fuck it, this is the best that's on the wire. I'll just have to run with it for a week and hopefully someone else drops something good or I can use something else, and then you can do that with kickers and defense. You can't really do that with quarterbacks though. Yeah, Blazers, because I live here in Oregon. I go to the games. I'll show you my guy. That's the truth right there. throwback though, but you can't see it. Oh wow. Well, yeah, it depends on who's on the team. If the teams actually have anyone worth a damn watching. Yeah, Drexler's my favorite. I mean, you haven't seen anybody dunk with that type of style since him. Like, he's very original. Like, there's a lot of people out there, but there's all kinds of like dunking styles. But you go back with Dominique and Jordan and Drexler. I mean, you had some of the best dunking ability. They didn't call him the Glide for nothing. Vince Carter might be the best dunker of all time. With the dunk contest and the shit that he did in games and practice and fucking the Olympics and all that. But give me Jordan, give me Drexler, give me Dominique. Yeah, I'm good. And this one guy named MJ, you might have heard of him. Best player ever. This was a great rivalry. Two best players in this time period. Oh, we're kind of good. Damn, look at those Blazer jerseys. Those are so fire. Jordan's 23 is fire too. Shit, I don't think anybody knows. Scoot Henderson is the leader. So, you got Scoot, you got DeAndre Ayton, the former Sun center is on there. Shaden Sharp can have hops, and Anthony Simons, can shoot. But I would probably say, probably a toss-up between Scoot and Ayton. I would probably say Scoot is the best player, even though he's a rookie. I think that's going to be the new Dame for us. So, but we got a pretty good lineup. We're young, and we'll be fun to watch. Anything that you want to see specifically on Reflect for your dono? Scoot's ready, baby. I need to go and exercise. I need to, spend some time with my pup and whatnot, and eat some dinner and whatnot. So I appreciate every single one of y'all, everything that you end up doing for us. Let me throw up a couple more Seahawks photos right before I go for reflect, and then we'll be back tomorrow at 12:30 for the Ducks and the Cougs. Let's go. I appreciate you very, very much. I have to throw up some Sleeper, underrated, not talked about enough. One of my favorites. I don't usually throw this one up very often. Or this one, the new one. Let's go, baby. Well, I appreciate all y'all. We'll be live tomorrow at 12:30, and then we'll probably end up doing, the Bucks and the Falcons possibly, but definitely doing Dolphins and Eagles. So we'll have some fun. I appreciate every single one of y'all that came through to donate, comment, share, some extra subs that we were able to get as well. You guys are the best. And we'll be back tomorrow at 12:30 to do the Ducks versus the Cougs. What a game. What a comeback. Baseball, you never know what's going to end up happening. Series tied 2-2, NLCS, game number 4. Final score, Diamondbacks 6, Phillies 5. Amazing. Well, I love you guys, and I appreciate you very, very much. And I got one question for you. Well, you don't talk sports like us. Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang.